Hello. Okay, I think we are live. This is. I haven't decided if I'm going to call it a ramble yet when I upload it. Probably not. Might just call it Zafcast, but a little bit bigger cast than we've normally put together for the rambles, but it's just like the group of people, or a selection of the group of people I mostly play the game with. So it's my close friends. Figured we'd get on, shoot the shit, maybe talk a little bit about TOA or whatever. I will let them introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Bill. I was brought in to be a more casual perspective on TOA and the game in general. I'm not maxed, but I have a decent understanding of like the basic levels of the game. But I'm also not someone who plays every single day.
I'm Grayson or Sunskit. I'm in Olympus and I'm an Iron Man who's maxed. I do some gaming, but currently burnt playing other games right now. But yeah.
I think the burnt will be a recurring theme with this group
Yeah.
here today.
What do you
Yeah.
mean? I'm Gian and I'm a human.
Let's go.
Like,
Easy.
Oh, like
I
Jan is an
crumble
Iron
under
Man.
pressure.
Or he's not an
Ex-Iron
Iron Man
Man.
anymore. Ex
Hard
Iron
slug.
Man. Elite Miner.
I guess
Used to
that's
be
all
Oh,
for
wow.
these
Gian.
guys.
That was all for
That's
yeah.
all
Wow,
for
good
me.
introduction, Jen.
Thank
Great,
you.
great. I'm sure everyone believes you.
But not the human
Uh,
I
part.
sure hope so.
yeah.
I believe him. What? I have no reason
Yeah.
not to.
Yeah. You wouldn't lie. I'm Kappa fucking Mikey, or 54 in Kappa or something like that. Ex Iron Man. A lot of people know me as rank 1 unlucky. I'm commonly referred to as that. I got fan kit before September 14 when it was still hard.
Congrats.
I'm that good.
Is that it?
Congrats.
Okay.
Nice.
Jesus.
Yeah, go on for it.
I'm Port Kazard. As Kappa said, he's rank 1 unlucky. I'm also known as rank 2 unlucky. I'm also a D Iron Man. I think that's about it.
I need to get
Okay, I
straight
guess
up with
that's
the
me.
videos.
Wait, aren't you the guy that got like Venge only Infernal Cape?
That's
Something
someone
like that?
else.
Mm.
I think that was September.
Yeah, September.
Alright, Prowls,
My name
you're
is
up.
Prowz, or my in-game name is Prowz. Like a lot of people here, I'm pretty burnt right now. Or not, I wouldn't say burnt, just like kind of haven't been around the computer too much. And yeah, I haven't done a lot of TOA, so if that's going to be the main topic, I might be kind of quiet. But I don't know. I used to play this game quite a bit, and yeah. Come to think of it, I think that like of all the people here, I don't really know if anyone's really actively playing at the moment. I guess Juke, you kind of are, right?
Kind of come in and out. I was doing next this past week when I hadn't been doing much the last like 3 weeks before that. So comes and goes. And yeah, I guess there's a quick headline for anybody listening. I guess the loose topic is TOA, but if you're looking for like a super in-depth discussion of mechanics and stuff, that's probably not what we're going to be getting into. I guess I'm mostly just curious to talk about TOA in terms of like what aspects of it do you guys find enjoyable? What parts do you like? What parts do you not like? How do you feel it stacks up to other content that you enjoy more or less? Shit like that. So I guess I'd just ask like super high level from each of you, like if you had to give like a 2 second or two sentence discussion of how you feel about TOA, like what you like, what you don't, if you're gonna do much of it, how are you guys feeling?
As like someone who isn't typically that big of a PVMer, it was something I could get started in, and it actually led me to trying other aspects of the game I wasn't really comfortable with before. So I like that part of it, but it is pretty easy.
I mean, I think like a lot of people in like the high level community, I am a big fan of TOA in terms of its visuals, and like kind of just the theme of the raid. I think it's really sick looking. I think the items are dope, and I think
Retweet.
like I really like how like clean the animations are and how you can really tell what's happening. I think that's great for the game. But I kind of wish it wasn't. I think like a lot of people feel this way. I kind of wish it wasn't so easy for noobs to get items because it kind of,
Damn,
messes up
right?
the market
Not
for the
even.
value
Backed
things.
up, backed up.
I mean, like
I
I'm
wouldn't
all
say-
I wouldn't
for
call them noobs, but I would say like less experienced players.
yeah.
Billy
So you
Bob.
wouldn't say
Like,
noob.
like you can just be a level, I don't like an early to mid game iron, and you can just go send like a 100 or 150 and just get a fang. Like just bruh. I don't
Just
know.
skip
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, and just skip so much bullshit. Yeah, it's insane. Like yeah, I don't know.
I'm
I will
kind of
say about the visuals and stuff. I'm like mostly a WoW player, and something I've always disliked about RuneScape is that a lot of the mechanics aren't visually apparent, or more importantly, they're like you have to understand what's happening behind the scenes to even attempt doing what the more experienced players are doing. And I don't like that kind of difficulty. I like it when the difficulty is the learning curve. And it sounds kind of weird because that is a learning curve, but it's not an obvious one. You know, like dodging a moving wall of water is an obvious learning curve. You know what I mean?
I think in general RuneScape is not super like learner friendly when it comes to endgame shit. Like I think prayer flicking especially, like the fact that it has to be on when a projectile starts, not when it hits you, is not. I don't know. I don't think that's intuitive whatsoever. Like along with a lot of other things.
I think if you compare like Cox to TOA, like you can really see sort of how the design of the game has evolved. Because like in Cox, there's a lot of mechanics, but it's all kind of under the hood, and it's not super apparent. And you know, you really have to know what a tick is to do well in Cox. But I feel like in TOA, you kind of just like click when you see stuff happen, and it's just very different. It's a lot more accessible and probably a lot better as a game. But
Yeah, I think that's what I like the most about TOA.
yeah, but I think when you do that, it also loses some of its depth, right? Like there's nothing like solo Ulm in TOA, so I don't know.
I think it's a different kind of difficulty. I think the difficulty to understand what is happening at a basic level and survive it, I think, is lower than other raids, but I think it becomes more just like how many times in a row can you do it without fucking up? At least for higher invocations. Whereas less like actually new mechanics. Whereas I feel like in Tob, like especially I guess I don't know, we'll probably talk a little bit more about comparing it to Tob later, but like I feel like for like duo Tob especially, which is like quite difficult to get into, I feel like a lot of the difficulty is like just in surviving that the first time, right? Like there's a lot of stuff you have to learn up front to just get through it, which maybe that's what people dislike about a lot of stuff like that. But it feels like a very different learning curve than a lot of other stuff I'm used to.
Well, the invocation system allows them to add the difficulty because if you're doing a 150, you don't get punished for the mistakes in the same way that you do in like a 500 or whatever. I just think it's harder to make those mistakes, but in the higher invocations, you just die, which is fine, you know.
For those of you who have done a
Uh,
lot of the higher invocations, like 500s in particular, how do you guys feel like the difficulty of that stacks up to other, I don't know, whatever else is really hard in this game?
I think it's at the moment really not very hard.
Yeah, I just dislike how Baba works. Like, you can have runs where you just, I don't know. I just don't think any NPC should be this strong on prayer.
To be honest, when I did 500s, I had no issue with Baba. Like,
Yeah,
I see a lot of
me
people
me
complain
neither.
about it or say like you need red X for it to be consistent, but it's like actually just never been an
Just not.
issue.
That's just not true. Like I don't know. Like I don't know what people have an issue with Baba hitting 24 through prayer, but it's perfectly fine that Sodasek can hit 22 or whatever.
God
Like
damn.
I guess he tosses a lot of orbs and shit, but like
But
I don't know. It's really not an issue.
back to the question, I think 500s now are a lot easier than most people think. Like I think a lot of people think they can't get
Yeah,
their 500 kit, but they don't realize like it's really
yeah.
maybe not that much of a step up than they think it is. Because
I
we've
I
had like so many changes that have made it like way better. So
Yeah, you actually
Yeah.
have possibilities as well in terms of invocations to run and whatnot. Like I just did it with Sean earlier today, and said it was his first. Like he hadn't attempted anything really, like at this high level at all. And like I don't know, yeah, we read it for like a couple of hours, and then we got it right. We got a miskit.
Hey,
Like even I think
I was gonna say you and Gianna both carried quite a few people at this point, haven't you? For duos.
I
I
think
think
Kappa's mainly done people in Zaf. I've done mainly outside.
yeah, I think of what like 7 or something people maybe 7,
Jeez,
8,
what?
something like
Dude, get me on the list. I want to get carried.
He's the Kappa carry.
You can go after
Yeah.
me.
Kappa just using this as a platform to advertise his boosting.
Yeah, is that legal or because I hear you can
It's
get
for
banned for
free,
that?
guys. It's for free. Trust.
Is it legal?
But no, yeah, I don't know. Like you know, what I'm saying about the fucking Red X and or like Baba being like I've done quite a few now, and it's like if you don't if you don't take unnecessary damage and you're using a Blood Fury, like at least half the runs I don't even have to carry spec.
I mean, isn't that the key though? Not taking the unnecessary damage, because that's the
I mean,
mistakes
yeah,
I was
no,
talking
yeah,
about.
Yes, but
sure, but
also
like,
Baba is like a literal like you just
I
sit
mean,
there and
there's really not
the
much to.
boss
There's
kind of thing, right?
the
I don't
boss
know.
fight is
Yeah.
very simple. I feel like especially like if you're in a solo, right, where it's, I mean, there's never gonna be an issue about which boulder or whatever. Like, hit boss, avoid shadows, and
I just think we had like the same point.
I think I agree with
right.
you on it.
Okay.
I think I agree with you on it, Kappa. I don't think
Right.
it's too difficult, and I think like yeah, I definitely don't think it's too difficult. I understand why it's a little bit frustrating because I feel like if you're not doing Red X, a lot of it is just kind of out of your control. You're just watching yourself either get fucked up or not. But, like I don't think that makes it too hard. Makes it maybe not
Yeah.
ideal design, but I don't think that's like
No,
inherently
yeah.
bad.
I
Yeah,
can
like I
agree.
don't think it's difficult. I just think it's a bit unskilled. I don't know how to explain it. It's
I
like
think
you
it
can't
just
do anything about it.
if you
No, but
make
yeah, but like
mistakes, you're gonna
it's never
get
to the point. It's never to the point where you die. I'm sorry for interrupting you, Billy.
no,
Like,
yeah.
like it's the point where like I feel like you, or at least it's like super rare, like 1 in 100 rare to die without making a mistake.
Like
In my experience right now, at least
I
for
think I think what they're saying though is that the issue isn't that like you can get RNG'd and died. It's more so that like the room itself, like when you do it properly, quote unquote, it's like
right.
there's nothing you really can do to reduce the damage, like because you're just kind of sitting next to the boss like the whole time if you're not red Xing, and it's kind of dumb that like there's like that, and then like the step above that is to like red exit, and the difference is like actually like zero damaging the boss and taking like full damage. There's no like in
Right.
between kind of.
I
It's a
think in
little awkward. I feel.
I think in my head I keep comparing it to solo top. Like not that I've done it, but I've watched a decent bit. I feel like when I watch people who are really good at solo top, like they get like RNG from like missing hammers or not at Zarpus. But like other than that, it looks like they have the entire raid like under control. Whereas I don't feel like I would get that when I watch somebody do 500 Baba. I don't know. Like I guess for those of you who have done solo top, like do you feel like it's more or less
Mm.
frustrating compared to that?
Uh, if I'm thinking about my first solo top, I know I just like died to Maiden a lot. Like that was kind of one of the rooms where I felt like I couldn't do much, and that was also when there was like no blood fury, so it's I don't know,
Right.
pretty frustrating.
Pre Blood
But
Fury solo top, dude. That's ancient. How many
yeah,
years
that
ago
is
was that?
ancient. I don't know. It's a while ago now. I guess what, like 3 or something. But anyway, like, you were saying something earlier about like the difficulty being in like just trying to survive almost, and I feel like that was really true for me at least when I did my solo top. It felt like I was just playing to like survive and get through it. Same kind of thing, like maybe with your first Inferno cave. I feel you kind of
Yeah,
get that
yeah.
feeling as well, and I guess that's kind of true for the first like 500 you would do as well, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of the 500 attempts I see are like all like people already know like exactly what they're doing, and it's kind of like you said, like you're just doing it over and over and over again, like doing it as much as you can without like fucking it up, kind of thing.
Yeah. I guess I feel
Well,
like we've hit.
actually,
Oh, go ahead, Prez. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I've just been kind of thinking, like I said earlier, I haven't done a lot of TOA, so my perspective isn't great. So like, feel free to shut me up. But my opinion on TOA so far is kind of just that it really reminds me of on-client top, just because like all the visual cues are so like so like vibrant and like in your face and very clear and like happen at the start of ticks and stuff like that. I think I don't know, like having done like with the limited TOA I've done and the little bit of TOA I've watched, it kind of reminds me of like on-client top before that got nuked. And I guess like tying that into the conversation you just had about soloing and 500s, I think doing a 500 is kind of similar to doing an on-client solo tub, where like it's really easy, but you just have to do it repeatedly and not mess up once because it's really punishing to mess up, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I've enjoyed. I've done like a fair bit of top now, like after the client bans, and I feel like I enjoy off client way more than I did before because like having done so much with client, I feel like I picked up on like the super subtle visual things that corresponded with the numbers before, and now they're just in my head. And I can do it just on the animations. But like I never thought top was very like visually apparent when
Yeah,
certain
no,
shit was gonna happen.
but that's what I mean. Like TOA is like so like the mechanics of TOA are so opaque that it's almost like on client top, you know? Like
I guess we've all done probably like very widely varying amounts of the different raids. If you guys had to like quickly rank them, just in terms of like personal enjoyment, where would you rank them? I guess for me personally, I'd put TOA below top, but above Chambers in terms of enjoyability.
Like solo or overall?
I guess overall, if you prefer doing teams, rank teams. If you prefer solos, rank solo.
I'd probably do Tob, TOA, and then Chambers for personal enjoyment. With, like the boys and stuff. For me anyway.
I'd do 2-way Cox and then Tob. And that's just because I hate Tob.
Rare top hater here. We're definitely a top community. I feel like it hurts sometimes. What about you,
I
John?
think I'd put Toa above Tob and Chambers. I don't know. I just really like solos at Toa because it's like all in your hands. I feel like other than Baba,
Oh, sorry, I gotta get up real quick. There's somebody at my door. You guys can keep going.
yeah, other than Baba, I feel like if you play well, you get rewarded. So I don't know. I really like it.
I feel like you get rewarded for playing well at all the raids, though. Like, I guess, yeah, I don't know. Right? Like, I mean, you get rewarded for playing well at Tob and
Yeah.
CM as well, right?
Yeah.
Pretty sure you get rewarded for playing well at Chambers as well a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Actually, I
think
would say TOA is probably the worst in terms of rewarding perfect play. Because if you play perfectly at Chambers, it's like a huge difference versus somebody who's like not so great.
You-
If you play perfectly at TOA
That's true.
versus someone
if
who's
you-
not so great, the gap is not so big, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, if you play poorly at TOA, you just sip one of your like 8 Ambrosia doses and you're still fine.
Yeah, there's a lot of like
I guess.
save your ass mechanics at TOA. I didn't mean to like I'm not trying to like argue with you, John, right? I'm just kind of thinking of what you said. I don't know.
No,
I think
no,
for Tob, like, or
I
keep
mean, it
going,
makes
Gio.
sense. Yeah. No. I was just gonna
Oh.
say I agree with Prowse in the end.
I think for Tob anyway, for perfect play, it's like super satisfying. I don't know, like Chambers is pretty, at least to me. I haven't done like too much like solo Chambers or like solo CMs or anything like that, but at least for Tob, whenever I was doing that, like doing melee walk at Zarpus and doing faster Nilos with Zaf people and all that kind of stuff, and properly tanking and doing shit at Verzik and popping crabs, like all that was super rewarding and satisfying. At least for me
Yeah.
anyway.
I think as punishing as Tob is, so kind of like well, I guess I'll start with anyway. I think Tob is sort of like if you do everything right in Tob, you take pretty much no damage, which is not
Right.
like that's the only raid
Yeah.
like that. If you do everything right in Mudadile, you still get fucked up sometimes. And if you do everything right in TOA, I mean, you know, you can get hit through prayer there. So like, I feel like Tob is the one raid where if you really play perfect, it really shows, which is why it's my favorite raid.
I think along that, not even just so much playing perfect. I feel like there's a lot of aspects of Tob where you get like considerable time saves for like very small things you do here. I feel like there's a lot of time to be saved that's not tied to deep. I don't feel like you get that in either of the other raids. Like you could, like the fact that you can save like 30 seconds on Nilo waves alone, like for Opto player, even more compared to like what people do in some money raids. Like I always loved that. Like you can do that same at Baba waves, but it doesn't feel the same. I don't feel like the variance is quite as there.
I definitely agree comparing Tob to COA, but I think comparing Tob to like CM, for example, there is quite a bit of like
Yeah, that's
RNG.
yeah. I was gonna say that. Like when Cox has a lot, because I mean, that's also because like a lot of time spent in Chambers is running. It's like even like running between rooms and whatnot. Like spent outside of combat for Chambers is like way more than the other raids probably.
Chesting alone. What you can probably save like 30 seconds just from
Oh,
doing
yeah.
that properly.
This is a random question, but what are your guys' thoughts on the Nilos versus Baba? Like the
Oh, I
like
really hate that
comparison.
comparison, man.
Not getting me started
Do we-
on that.
Praz,
you
you
wanna
might,
talk
you
about-
might, you might be
Get me
biased there,
started.
Praz.
Do
Maybe
we-
for the
do
rest
you
of the
wanna-
crowd.
Yeah, all the Prowse, you can okay.
I mean, I guess since you're asking me, I just think that whole thing is really dumb. I think that Baba waves they don't even have close to the amount of nuance as Nilo waves. I mean, they're cool, I guess, and you can optimize them
Yeah.
just like anything in RuneScape, but it's
They're not cool, man.
Like,
They're
just
They're
because
not
it's
cool.
like
just
yeah,
because
they-
it's like a bunch of waves of trash mobs before a boss does not mean you should compare them. And I really think there's not a lot of similarities. Like, there's a lot more
Yeah.
nuance and optimization to Nilo, in my opinion. Baba waves, it's
If
like what? Hit
the-
shamans, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
Baba
if,
waves
if
were a
the
mistake.
suicide, dude, if the suicide bombers at Baba waves could do something to the like thralls, the
Oh my
shamans,
god, red,
Oh my
red
yeah.
suggestion right there.
sure,
what
I
is-
don't care.
What a
I hate
step
that
down!
rule.
What a step down from exploding crabs at Verzik though. I feel like you like actually have to like pay attention to what's going on, dude. You can just not even notice till the zombie's on top of you, and it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I really dislike that rule.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Well-
the worst room in the whole raid.
Hey, since we're on this subject, like, what are you guys' favorite rooms in TOA? Mine's probably Zebek. I really like that room.
I think Akka would be
Mm.
mine, and Zabak would be second.
Sebag
I
is
like the
for
Aki
sure.
way.
I mean,
The mining room is probably my favorite because it gives me time to be creative and think about stuff while I do my 2 or 3 downs.
I think favorite puzzle, definitely Kefri. Favorite boss, either Wardens or Akka.
Oh yeah, dude. Before the plugins, I will say for Kefri anyway, it was so
Right.
much fun trying to get quick times. Oh my
it
god,
was.
it was
Plugin
so
really
much
ruined it,
fun.
huh?
Yeah.
But
I like the
yeah.
I think
Kefri
that
one 'cause
Billy
it feels
ruined
like
it for
you're
a
actually
second.
running through, whereas like the Baba one, you're just like sitting there and you just. It's so. It feels like it really kind of ruins the flow.
Dude, the room is
Whereas
so
the
big
Kefri one is
so
too.
just like you
long.
just like sprint through it almost. It's
Yeah.
kinda fun.
I really like Akka and Warden P1.
Oh, you like
P1?
P1? I like P3 a lot, but P1 and P2 are kind of
Wait,
whatever
why do
in
you
my
like
opinion.
P1?
I feel like P1 is super boring.
Yeah,
I
what?
like
Don't you just
P1.
sit there
Yeah,
and
okay,
like?
elaborate on that, Gian. Tell us about P1.
I like P1 because of the god tile. I don't know. It made that.
That's P2. That's
Oh my
P2.
God.
Please.
the
I'm so sorry. I
for the
am so
good people,
sorry.
for the good
P2.
people at home,
P2.
please explain what the god tile is.
I am so sorry, P2. I am not explaining. I am too tired to explain it.
I will explain God tile. There's a tile that I think is really good. It does nothing. End of story.
No way he said it does
If you
nothing.
know,
It
if you
does
know, you
nothing.
know.
way.
Is the god tile related to God Tower?
Wait,
a-
wait.
We are
God
not
Tower
talking
is
about
like-
anime. We are not talking about anime.
Oh no.
These
Moving on. Moving on.
cheap cartoons out of
So,
construction.
can we talk about the crocodile puzzle room?
Yeah,
I really
what
feel
about it?
like the.
Oh,
I think the. I don't know. I wish they made it cooler.
What do you
What
want
do you mean?
cool about running
I
jugs
mean,
of
like-
water?
I hate that it's the same every time. I hate that you can
Yeah, I
word the
hate
same
that-
3 clicks
that
and
it's like
skip
just
it.
static
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
like. How does it even add up visual? Like we talk about how everything matches up visual. That's just not true for that
Yeah,
room. I don't think.
that is by
like,
far the worst. Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I would like.
You
I
mean-
wouldn't have minded if it was like gave us like a minute, 15 of Sepulchre. Whatever. Give us like floor 5 Sepulchre or something, or like bottom floor
I mean, they
That
just
would've been
floor
made
sick.
5
lava.
Sepulchre or something like that. I don't know.
I
I think it
thought
would have
you
been
meant
cooler
like
if you had to like run through rather than like do laps as well and like go back and
Right.
I don't know, it
Yeah.
just feels lame.
Like a
And the
tunnel.
static thing is like it's lame, right? You do the exact same thing every time, but at the same
Yeah.
time, if we didn't have the static solution, I'm not sure if I would actually like that room better. Like I think I would.
Oh, no, I don't
like
think
this
I
one
would either.
more.
But some sort of, like you said, something maybe a little the same, but also different.
Yeah,
Something
okay,
more
sure.
engaging.
I feel like
instead of
there's-
clicking
You mean
on the
kind-
same tiles every single
I
time.
feel like there has to be some kind of disconnect with the game design here because I can do the static thing perfectly every time, but I don't fucking know how the room works. Like if you see me try to do the south ones, I take 3 hits every time. I don't know how it
Yeah.
works.
Oh, what the south? I remember a release. The southeast one is so free. Like you kind of have to be trying to get hit on that one.
I guess I'm trying to
Yeah.
get hit. I don't know, man.
I guess so.
I'm bad at it.
There's one
Oh.
of them that's like super cursed. I don't remember which one it was, but on the first day, whenever we did it, like we all had like our own path, and I was
Yeah.
stuck on like the shitty
Uh-uh.
one, and I was like, I was so confused because I never did any of the other ones. I was like, how are you guys so good at this? 'Cause I was just
Hold-
like constantly fucking it up.
Yeah, I remember that. Port
Dude,
was
that
the
was
noob
that
of
was
the
that
team.
was me on day one. I was in southeast, and I was just like God, and everybody else was pulling 25 and kick palling at them. Like
Yeah.
Hondas only,
what-
baby.
Kappa, what's a kick bomb?
Yeah, explain
that's like
that
Not sure
the.
what that is.
So it's like an emote where it's like the kick W face pointing, laughing at someone, or something like that.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Oh, you're so good at explaining
Interesting.
We
Kappa.
also have kick a wobble of a dub dub, which is like the kick
Alright,
face
alright, that's enough
on top
explaining
of
Kappa.
Yeah,
Rick
dude.
from Rick and Morty.
Kappa.
Make it a thing.
Man, you can
No,
scan in,
that's-
she
What
takes
was
a
the
mile.
question? Oh, we were talking about Z-back puzzle.
I
Yeah.
thought at first when Kappa explained like how he wanted the room to be different, I thought he meant like the Akka puzzle where it's not static the layout.
I quite
Oh,
dislike the
what's-
Zebek and Zebek and Akka puzzles. I feel like they're a lot like crabs and cocks, where you just kind of memorize how you do them, and then you just do them like that, and you don't really have to do any thinking.
I think I hate
But I mean,
everything.
does that
It's
mean-
shame. Like a lot of the puzzle rooms were like really fun for the first day or whatever, right? But like having to do it over
I
and
mean,
over,
like-
and it's the same.
I guess
Yo,
if you think
boss.
about it, like how could you possibly make a puzzle room that's like going to be fresh
No,
and fun forever, right? It's impossible.
You
So.
you're not. Yeah, I agree.
Honestly,
They
I
want
think the Caffrey
Baba
one does a
waves.
decent job at that.
Sorry, can you say that again, Port, from the start?
I said honestly, I think the Caffrey one does a pretty good
Everyone.
job of that. Like
I agree.
Right.
staying interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think ideally it's kind of like a Rubik's Cube, right? Where like it's not insanely hard, but it's not too easy, and it stays kind of hard no matter what. I don't know. And like you kind of solve it with like principles, but you don't memorize the specific method. That's my
Yeah.
ideal puzzle.
More like
Yeah.
on the fly sort
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Like where there's still skill. You can still get good at it. There's still stuff to learn, but yeah, it's mostly improv. That would be nice. So I think only Caffrey is really like that of all the TOA puzzles, which is kind of sad.
I mean, my
Yeah.
question was like, what the point of the two-way puzzle? Like, what? Like, is it? Did they just do it because that's how they always have done raids or whatever? Besides Tob,
I think it adds a little bit of variety to the raid. Like it changes the flow of the raid a bit, right? It's not just.
I mean, you
stupid
could
stuff.
also just make like 6 bosses and you do 4 of them and then the final boss or something.
But then they
think-
had to come up with even more mechanics, and that's
I think
probably
it
hard
could,
enough as is.
I think it could be like or it could be like more like Chambers though, where you don't have to do all 4 puzzles every time. I mean, I guess randomness sucks. A lot of people hate that. But, like, I wouldn't mind if you had to do like 2 maybe instead of all 4.
Man, imagine if you got to choose as well, or imagine if you had
Yeah.
to scout for it. Like,
Dude, no
God,
one's
man.
doing the monkey
Oh,
puzzle
yeah.
ever
A
again.
monkey puzzle is like Ice
Nah,
Demon.
man.
Only Kraus loves it or whatever.
I don't understand why you guys
Yeah.
hate Ice Demon. All right, listen, like Ice Demon, right?
Okay,
It's
I
like
love Ice Demon. Let's be real here.
First of all,
Huh?
everybody
went
here,
off at Ice
everybody
Demon.
who hates on Ice Demon will do thieving no problem. So I'm just gonna compare Ice Thieving and thieving.
Everyone
Right?
here who hates Ice Demon started Chambers before 2021, pros.
What's your point?
No. Ice
We live in the year
Demon sucks.
2022. Like,
Old Ice Demons was the most
Dude.
disgusting
I mean,
thing
isn't
ever.
Yeah,
it, isn't it still just the worst on paper? Like,
the new Ice Demon is
Yeah,
fine,
it's
Grandpa.
just-
So
No,
like,
so.
it's still dog.
Grandpa.
Don't call me Grandpa.
Well, Ice Demon is still less points than thieving,
that's
right?
not the point
It's
though.
just
It's like,
still slower.
yeah, but if Ice Demon is the only thing wrong with the raid, then you still do the raid. You don't go rescout.
Nah.
Oh,
is that
you
our only
probably
issue with
got
do.
Ice
Chambers?
Demon, I just left.
Kappa
Yeah, but-
fucking Mikey.
Yeah,
We
but
play for
Port, you do
fun,
like
not
2
for
layouts, dude. Port, okay, low
Oh, not
key,
this
if you
again.
duo with Port, he will sit at the world for 15 minutes waiting for somebody to post a scout and we do raids versus running a 4
Dude,
combat
I
with
wanna do a
Vanguards.
I want to do a fun raid, man. Not a dog shit.
Alright, that's unrelated though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of Ice Demon because when you chop the kindling, you're just chilling, and then like, I mean, it's a slow room, but it's like 6 clicks the whole room.
Yes, that's really what you need in Chambers is to be chilling. You're not fucking already boring out of your ass for the 10 minutes it takes you to get to home. Or what?
I'm not as good as you, Kappa. I have to actually think when I do Tecton.
Oh, okay. I mean, hey, fair enough.
Kappa, don't you
Why?
have a record for
I mean,
a pure
I
entry?
actually
Like, is
no,
that
no.
true?
I actually have a world Chambers. I have the world record downtime,
All right,
so I would know what I'm talking about.
Dang.
And
I
let
propose that.
me tell you.
yeah, tell
Ice
us.
Demon was not
Tell
Ice
me.
Demon. Ice Demon was not part of that raid, and that's for a very good reason. It's dog shit room. That pretty much settles that.
I mean, to be fair, Kappa does still think it's Tecton though, right? He has to identify if it's flip-flopped or not.
Hey, this is the world record. Something or the other you're talking to here.
Yeah, what's that, pros? You have something to say? About world
No.
records?
I was just gonna say that if you have a RuneScape world record, you should have priority speaker. That's all.
Handshake. Handshake.
So,
Okay.
I have no idea how to respond to that.
Relevant Rex only though, please.
True.
Find relevant.
Like Cox downtime.
Yeah, Cox downtime. I'll count that.
Ernest the Chicken Wreck.
Do you have
Did you
that?
get that?
What the speed? Like the
No.
quest speedrun thing?
I was gonna say, isn't that Getch? Wasn't he one of them?
No, it's B has it.
Oh, did B beat him?
What about Drainer? What's it called? Count Drainer. Nightmare Zone
Oh, that's right.
speedrun.
Oh wait, yeah, I have that.
Oh.
Right.
I guess since
Wait,
it
you
came,
have that?
since it came
Mhm.
up as a side point, have any of you guys done the quest speedrun worlds? You guys have any thoughts on them?
Waste of time.
No.
Kind of a long shot that any of the 6 people in here would be one of the 20
thought-
people.
I don't even do quests
Quest
in the
report.
game, man.
I
I
thought
wouldn't be
maybe
surprised
four.
if Port did so. Yeah.
I haven't
Wait.
done any of it, but I've talked about it a bit to someone because, like, I don't know, we kind of bounce back and forth on some of like the theory crafting for like time saves. And honestly, I think it looks it. I was like half tempted to get into it because it honestly seems kind of interesting if you're like looking for like each and every like obscure tick save you can. But I don't think it's something that's gonna appeal to like many people. And obviously, we see that
Oh,
right?
yeah.
There's like no one on the worlds. But at the same time, if there was like 100 people on the worlds, it'd probably be pretty shitty to actually.
How does- is
speedrun
it
the
one-
quest
Right.
stuff, so
I
Mm.
mean,
Is
okay,
it one quest per world? How does it work? Like, I'm wondering why they got like 8, 10 worlds, or however many they got.
What I think you might be like disrupted by other people also doing the quest at the same time.
Oh.
But I'm not sure.
Yeah, like
Mm.
imagine having 50 people going and doing Dragon Slayer together.
Did they restrict what quests are available at all, or is it just all of them right off the bat?
There's like 5. There's like
Oh.
5 that you can do, which makes me really sad. I
Or
like
7 or something.
Were they planning on like switching it up, or is that permanent?
no, they're planning on just adding like batches. I think.
I see. I was
Who
gonna
knows
like,
if they'll actually end up doing it? though, honestly.
it kind
Yeah,
of
with
makes
how
sense
few
to restrict.
people have done it, they might not.
I mean, I feel like if
Sorry.
anything, if you're not anticipating a ton of people doing it, I thought the restriction was good, just in that like you don't want like 150 different categories people are competing for, right?
That's true.
At least at, like
Yeah.
at once, like forcing people to like you'll definitely force optimizations by restricting it. Ideally, they hit all of them eventually, right? Like it'd be lame if they don't include them.
Yeah, if
I
they
like
do it
that
in
the-
waves, then it also kind of retains interest like over time, right? Like people will come back when
Come
they're
back for
new.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, we don't talk about it much. I was just kind of curious as a side point. I wasn't even thinking about talking.
I feel like with those, there's like a big disconnect between like who the content is meant for and who will actually do the content. I think the people who actually will get stuff out of that content are like the nerds who understand like the very deep game mechanics, like port, and sort of like the order in which the server processes actions throughout a tick. Like that's the kind of people who will actually get something out of those quest speed runs. But like I feel like they're designed just for like the Billy Bobs who like you know what I mean? So, I don't know.
Wait, what's a Billy Bob?
Whoa.
Yeah,
We
explain
talked
that
about
one for the
this.
people at home.
No. No, I don't think I will.
Okay, okay.
Everyone knows what a Billy Bob is.
Fine, I'll explain it. If you have a Tumakin Shadow
What's
and
that?
you're wearing Mystic, you're a Billy Bob.
You mean Shadow of Tumor Guy?
Yeah,
Oh,
that
okay.
one.
Shadow of what?
Tumor Guy. The new staff from
No,
Toons of the Undersea?
Tumakin,
Yeah.
not
Or
Tumor Guy.
Tumor?
he's making a joke that he doesn't know how to pronounce it because he hasn't done the content much.
Oh, gotcha.
Ah.
I hate you
The
guys.
crowds
I-
make
I will
I-
never get over the
I
fact that
see.
Elidinis got done dirty like this. Back me up, Port.
It's Ellenitis, Sean.
Are we talking about the
Dude.
awards or what?
Yes.
Gian is
Big-
our
by the way, if
master
you're listening-
pronouncer.
If you're listening to this podcast, please go buy awards of Ellenitis. Buy them. Buy them.
Is that how you
Hellenitis.
pronounce it?
Not like 30 or
Elenitis?
40.
Neither of those.
Oh. Isn't it
Elidinis, dude.
Is it not Ellenitis? No?
No,
Dude,
I think it's Eladinus.
Isn't it like
Elidinus.
a lidness?
I mean, it's not even
Wait.
spelled Eladina.
Port. Port.
I think
Mm-hmm.
Elidini's nuts in your mouth.
Nice.
Good one, yeah.
Nice, nice man.
Backed up.
Nice.
Alright.
Proud-
Sorry about that. Moving on.
Prowse, the good viewers
we
at
take
home,
that
dude, are
back
at the
now.
Grand Exchange with their chat box open. They don't know what to buy. They don't understand. They're waiting.
I think it's kind of tragic though that the thing is worth is less than 10 mil, especially when I have inside information that like 200 got removed from the game.
I'm really surprised at the price of award, honestly. Because, like, I guess
is
this really
fish.
means that all people used to use Arcane for was CM. Because, like,
What? Did
Yeah.
they really?
I guess so. Because, like, that's the only thing you would have used Arcane and Sang with. And then now, like, Arcane has really crashed because nobody needs a shield because they all use Shadow. Like, I feel like people weren't using Arcane Kodai, is what I'm saying. Oh, I thought the new word would be pretty good with Kodai, but apparently nobody gives a
I
fuck
mean,
about that.
It's good with Coda. It's just that Shadow
Yeah.
is almost always better, right? So the only thing you really use Ward for is like Barrage and Slayer. And honestly, I think a lot of people
Well,
just don't
Well,
even do that.
it's good at top, too. The ward,
Okay,
I mean.
sure.
I really
Yeah.
wonder.
I mean,
I wonder.
with how
If... Go ahead, Kappa.
no, with how cheap it is right now, though, like there's definitely like people in a like money range where
Mm-hmm.
it's like a super good pickup.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like Chambers.
Backed up.
Well,
backed up.
the thing is, it's not that cheap. You think it's 10 mil, but you need the Arcane Spirit Shield, too, right?
Well, even without
Well,
the,
the base
it's
is
like
3%, which is like more
still
than
It's
3%.
still, so.
And
Yeah.
like there's still a wide gap between having a like I don't know 80 mil Sang with a 100 mil shield versus the like 1.7 bill staff right now.
Well, I mean, it's basically an ancestral hat, isn't it? Because like usually the 3% and the 2% will be the same.
This podcast is brought to you by the 300 wards in Prowse's bank.
I have no words at all. Actually, I have one for myself for personal use. That's it.
Okay.
I was just trying to
I
help
believe
out
you.
my boy. Who invested in words? I think it was you,
Are
John.
you, are you
right?
gonna leak
No,
people's
no,
merges?
no. I
Not
don't
cool,
buy those
dude.
items.
I sold all my wards. I lost like 500 mil. I just cut
Fair
my
point.
losses. I'm not dealing with that shit.
I mean, I do agree. I feel like I don't know. Like 10 mil for a max hit on Barrage Slayer is not nothing. I don't know.
I dislike ward at top, by the way. It's good, like it's power increase, but using it as so aids, I really don't like it. I did a couple of raids.
It made my inventory cancer for Nilo boss. I hated that.
I don't mind it when I have void, but when you don't have void, like in a duo mostly, like in duo you just have to take off Torval legs now when you freeze, which is so cancer.
I guess to me,
And also like
Oh, that sounds horrible.
and during Nilo waves, since you have like 2 shields, right, ward and defender, and then also a 2-handed weapon with scythe, it just like shit goes everywhere. It's such a mess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess to
I
talk
might
Yeah,
just
that-
stop bringing it, man.
to,
Like,
to talk about items people actually give a shit about. What do you guys think about Fang? I guess both its drop rate and how good it is. Any thoughts?
Both
I'm
great.
sad that it's so common, but I really like the item. It's so
yeah,
powerful.
It
yeah.
is really
It
cool.
looks kind of okay. It's really strong, and it doesn't use a charge, so I don't have to pay out the nose to use it. It's kind of cool.
On the other hand, John, like it's such an impactful item and so good at TOA specifically that if it were kind of more rare, I think it would kind of fuck things up. Like, because TOA is so accessible, in part because
Iron Man at
everything is so
least.
common. Not
When
just
you
for
mean
Iron Man,
fuck,
but for
what,
core normies too.
what do you mean by fuck things up?
Well, part of the great thing about TOA is how accessible it is, right? Like that, I don't know. In my opinion, that's just objectively good. And Fang being really cheap and also being so good at TOA, sort of like unlocking basically all the higher end those, kind of makes it so that I don't know. It's just kind of nice.
It definitely improves accessibility. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. As to whether or not you think that's a good thing, that's a different story.
Right.
Yeah.
What about you, Grayson?
Sorry, go.
I think fucking I think Fang is okay. Like, it's pretty good at certain places, and especially apparently at Nex. I haven't really used it, but I've seen a couple duos and trios and stuff like that. That thing looks broken at Nex. Apparently, it's just super good there, and you don't really need to have too much else to go along with it. Which I guess is nice because honestly, Nex needs all the help it can get. I'm gonna keep it a buck, but
I think it's
yeah, I
also
don't know.
I think a big benefit for Nex, specifically for irons, like not only is it faster, but it also shifts your supply usage a ton from brews to
Yeah.
Blood Fury, because you go from using
Yeah.
like 13 brews per kill in range only setups to like 6 plus Blood Fury.
Yeah.
Like you still have to invest time, but like yeah, it doesn't require the fattest stack of brews ever anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that
Yeah, but
last
how many?
X is just amazing with Fang.
But
You know the smite phase or whatever you call it, fifth
yeah,
phase.
the one where he prays reflect melee
Lash
or
one?
whatever. Is that what you want to use?
Oh yeah.
Dude, my first time doing Nex, it had like, this is the first time I had melee since release.
Wait.
My first time doing Rapier Nex, I just stood there meleeing the deflect melee like the
Oh
entire time.
god.
Oh wait,
I was like, dude, why
forgot
did I use
about
10
that.
brews in a 4-man on Soul Split? Like, what?
I just forgot
Killing
about that.
myself.
Ignore me.
So I guess
Hey, Dion,
I
forget
didn't
about it.
I didn't hear anybody say it, but just to clarify, does anybody think it should be nerfed? Not the Drake, but like the actual item
No.
itself in game. Does anybody here
Not
think it should be nerfed?
I could understand them making it harder to get, switching it with Ward, a bunch of the other suggestions. If they nerf it, I'll be sad. And I think it has a like. I like that it fills the niche that I feel like Scythe should have filled as like a really strong melee weapon.
I mean, Scythe is
It's
a
just-
really strong melee weapon. There's no
Yeah,
doubt about that.
at the places it's good at, but there's a lot of
But that's the
uses
same
for
for
Fang.
Fang as well, right? Like it's really good at the places it's good, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Is
it's
it-
good at a lot of places. Scythe isn't as good.
is it good at a lot of places, or is it like good
Yes.
at a couple of places and then like
No.
okay at a lot of others?
Well, it's like FVO, right? Where it's like you can viably
Right,
use
it's never bad.
like wherever.
Yeah.
It's never bad.
Yeah.
And I don't
Yeah.
think that's a good thing for the meta, because like if
Right.
you're a normie, you just buy a Fang and you sell every other melee weapon, and like you can do any content in the game.
Yeah.
Like we look
Can
at
you-
Rapier, it's gone from like 200 mil
Like,
when
yeah, Rapier-
Toa came
Rapier's-
out. It's like 70 mil or some shit right now. It's
Yeah.
like
Rapier's in the bin
nobody
and
really needs one anymore. And if you're an Iron, right, like with how like easy it is to get to Toa, all you need
Right.
is like you just get an FBO, you go to
The
Toa,
most
you
common
get your
drop.
Fang, and then you have like those 2 items, and you can do like pretty much anything in the game at like a pretty damn like viably, right?
Yeah,
Have a group
Yeah.
Iron Man moment.
I think Scythe still, at least for just like in terms of like Slayer bosses. I know Scythe is still best in slot. I think at every one over Fang, but the gap is really small. I don't know how many people are actually going to still Scythe. I wouldn't be surprised if they switched to Fang for most shit other than like Serb and I don't know what else is like super low defense. Slayer boss, Thermi maybe. I don't know.
Isn't Fang
You
like
even
high
take-
defense?
You don't take Scythe to
Or-
CM anymore, right?
I
You
don't
take it for Olm in teams. I don't know
Well,
if you
I just
take it
mean
in
like solo
solo.
CM.
Do people take it in
Solo
solo
sh-
anymore?
I doubt it.
I
I
doubt
don't
it.
Well-
believe they do. They use Fang instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I think they Fang Tecton and then or Mace
Yeah.
Tecton and then they Fang, of course you Fang Vanguard. So
Yeah, I think the rec is with Mace and Fang only.
Wait, do you Fang Tecton now?
You Mace it if you have Ink.
Oh, okay.
but like Fang is not bad on it. It's like Fang's very consistent because if you miss
Yeah.
hammers, Fang is still alright. So if you're
Yeah,
just doing
it's-
money raids, then
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I tried one and I was like, holy shit! 'Cause, like I did way back then. Like I was just like I done a lot of like just solo CMs, just prep, just money run, like just getting KC and point whatever. And like holy shit, man, I would have loved the Fang for the detectants.
Not just that, you even have a spec like towards the end of
This feels
first
so good.
anvil.
Right.
Oh, that's
that
right.
too.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I guess spec doesn't really matter.
Although,
If you're using ring, won't you regen
Oh,
two
if you're
hammers
using
by
ring,
ice?
if
Pretty
you're
much
using
always.
ring, if you're using ring, probably, especially if you're prepping and getting seconds. But without ring, I'm not sure you would even use the spec.
but I'm sure you'll
So-
always have ring, right? And Cox. It must be
Yeah,
good.
surely you use ring.
Pretty sure, yeah.
I feel like if you're ever like spending like over 40% of your ticks like not melee attacking, then ring is just always better. Or
Well,
ring is
okay, so you say that, and that's true, but like it's also like I don't know, like I think about like yeah, it's gonna be for CM for example, like it's gonna be super nice. Like first floor, like you're gonna have hammers for Tekton and hammer for ice, and you can still have spec for vanguards. But then after that, you're gonna spend like what 2 minutes thieving and a minute vesp, a minute at rope, a minute at guardians, where like sure you can regen spec, but you also like don't have any good time save specs anyways. Like
don't sleep on the pickaxe effect, dude.
I mean yeah, maybe you pickaxe spec and
That's
get
what
a
you
little
said.
time save, right?
Yeah, it's pretty bad on.
But yeah,
like,
then you have
but-
to double claws and like I don't know. Then you come into mystics afterwards. Are you gonna
We were just
gonna
talking
I
about.
don't know.
them?
We were
You
just
could
talking about.
probably claw Mystic, and then you could probably claw Mutt as well, and then still have two hammers for all.
Right,
I would think.
right.
That's pretty good.
Maybe you hammer. Do you hammer
Maybe.
mystics? I like straight up. I don't know.
What?
It might be better than
Shadow-
claw.
You shadow mystics.
You shadow
I don't
mystics.
think you would want to.
I see.
Yeah.
I guess yeah. Shadow doesn't care what your defense is.
And yeah, I believe you claw the small Mura.
Probably if you
It's
have the
it's
ring
the
for sure.
mage level that's gonna matter if you're gonna shadow it. So Dragon Warhammer isn't helpful.
I
Does
see.
does the ring regen so much that you have like 2 specs every single Olm hand? Like if you just camp it?
No.
Or no?
Well, if
Not
it's
quite.
still- I mean, because
Not
it only
quite.
has like 2
Like, there
minutes.
might
to
You
be-
will
that
be
time.
close to it.
Well,
You'll
yeah,
be very
basic-
close.
It'd be like
Basic
one,
ring
maybe
regen,
one Olm
yeah.
hand you'd get like 1, and then the others you get 2, maybe.
Well, it goes like this, right? Every 2 minutes you get 80% spec, and so a really fast Olm hand's like just under 2 minutes. So in CM,
Yeah.
so
You
See,
get
I
insane
gotcha, I
amounts of
gotcha.
specs. Yeah.
Maybe
And you
for
get
that
downtime.
extra one too.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
using that ring at top was really fun though. I did some duo top with it, and I didn't really have a plan going in, but trying to like use it smart is pretty fun.
Did you camp it or where did you use it?
Well, I just kind of put it on every time I knew that I was gonna like have my uptime interrupted in the next 30 seconds. So like on Soat, if I knew the maze was gonna proc in like the next 10 seconds, I would put it on, right? And then it would tick twice during the maze.
Okay, yeah.
Is ring even worse if you just camp it, like compared to just like
Yeah,
if
if you
you're
just
melling, like,
camp it,
constantly?
If you just camp it and then compare the extra DPS you gain from claw specs to just scything, even on 0
Mhm.
def, or even on high def, it's like not worth. But it's
Is
it's
that
not
like-
that bad.
Is that like only a thing with Scythe, just because you lose like so much from not having that +8? Because I think
think
you
so.
can't get a 48 with Lightbearer, right?
Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing. And actually, if you have Blood Fury, I think you even drop below 46.
Yeah, sounds
Pretty
like
bad.
you probably would.
Hear me
But-
out. Use the ring to debattle X spec more.
Foggers.
What the hell?
In the 48.
Dude, while we're at it, let's talk about the clue caskets.
Oh god.
But no,
Or
I mean,
let's not.
That idea slapped. I'm not leaking that.
But Port, even though like like you asked the question about like camping it, there are some places where I think it's still good to camp. Like Maiden, for example, in a duo, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you camp the ring on Maiden in a duo, you will get 2 claws by the time 30 spawn, which lets you double claw 30s. Which
Yeah.
even though you lost your max hits for the rest of the kill, you're probably gonna get the 30 skip now, which is
Right.
like, obviously worth.
I will say
So
one,
stuff like that.
one thing I love about ring, like even just unrelated to actually using it, I like how hard it is to calculate like exactly what benefit it gives you, because I know we're gonna get like arguments about this shit for like 5 years. Like
Yeah,
every
that's
every
pretty
piece
cool.
of content, it's so hard to identify every benefit of it and like precisely calculate.
Yeah,
Just a
no,
lot of
it's
people
definitely an
ask
item
this
that
as well.
rewards having like mastery of the content and being able to control the fight such that you know like exactly when like certain things will happen. It's really cool. I like that item.
Debating ring camp is gonna be like having fucking DK set up discussions in high level discussion channel.
Dude, you know what was the oldest? You know what was? You know what was the discussion before that? Were any of you there for the years of Ring of Suffering with recoil versus B ring at Zammy?
Yeah,
Dude,
I
that
remember
was
Oh,
that.
fucking
God.
years. That conversation would
at
never
Bandas
die.
too.
Yeah,
Oh man.
I forgot about
Jesus
that shit.
Christ.
Good times. Like I don't know. I think a discussion like that is, I don't know, definitely good. I like stuff like that. I like when it's not, yeah, sit down with a calc for 5 minutes and know what's best in slot for the next 3 years.
I don't know, like, yeah, I don't know, even like Patoa here is like, when you're using the ring, like, I don't know if it's better or not, but I don't know, it just felt good to use it, like, it just felt fun using more
It is
specs,
also, yeah,
like,
it is really fun. to
even
use.
even if it just might be, like, it just feels like it's better just because, like, you're not gonna notice that you have one less max or two less max hits or whatever
I promised I wasn't
for every
gonna.
single hit.
I promised I wasn't gonna bring up League on this, but like it kind of reminds me of the discussion people used to talk about in League, where they're like oh, like the power creep people are being able to like mana costs are going down, cooldowns are going down, but like people like using their abilities, right? I think people like using specs. It's just more fun, even if it's
It
like
is.
Right.
compares, like even if it's like
Yeah.
a wash in terms of DPS. Yeah, it's more fun,
Yeah,
no doubt.
I'd gladly pay 500 mil for that ring just for the amount of specs I can use. It's just so much
Yeah.
more fun to play.
I'm
But
using
yeah,
it right now at
you'd also
Mole.
give 8 bills to a stranger, like, you don't spend money wisely, do you?
That felt uncalled for, Kappa.
Captain,
Yeah.
where was that from?
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
dude,
what?
it's,
Yeah, what's that even about?
I cannot believe it. I went from 8 bill to 150 mil debt.
Oh no.
Damn.
What is this man talking about?
Yeah,
What
Can
is
someone
what's going
explain
on
to me?
here?
Yeah.
Anyways,
Something you need to tell us, bro?
We need a Dutch speak amulet for this.
Yeah, equip the Dutch speak amulet, boys.
Anyone speak Finnish?
Me.
People are actually gonna think he's Dutch now. That you said that.
no, I mean,
Is he not?
sure, the
He's
ring is
Finnish.
cool. I guess I just thought for a second. Dion was saying the ring should be a 500 mil item.
No, I'd
I don't know
gladly
about
pay
that.
it myself that
Oh,
much
right.
just to have
Yeah.
it. Like,
I do
Right.
think
I
it
don't
should
care.
be more.
I don't think the ring
Jeez.
should be as common as it is. What is the point? It's like
No.
a you know, I understand why they made Fang common because Fang like is necessary to be comfortable at TOA. But the ring is like a luxury item and it's like very sick and cool. So I wish it was rare. I wish it was like really
But
really
well, at
rare.
the
I
same
disagree
time,
about the
ring.
Fang as well. They should have both been rare. They're both like sick items.
All
I
right,
don't know
They're
why
just
either of them are the common.
I guess it was
yeah,
on the
they're
list
too
anyway.
good.
I guess TOA
What-
weights. How are we feeling about them? I know they seem to be quite contentious.
Well, not in this call. I think in this call we all agree they should just all just be
Well,
rare as fuck.
okay, no, sorry. Not talking purple rarity, like actual weighting on the table. Do any of you guys disagree with that? Like in terms of what is most
Yeah.
common?
Yeah, I
Yes.
wish the Fang was like a mega rare kind of tier, honestly.
Like Samish, so you think Samish Shadow? Or would you like I wouldn't mind seeing it like
Maybe
half
put it
of
within the
Shadow.
story table with half of Shadow, and then Ring. I don't know. Like I almost feel like everything should have been half of
Yep.
Shadow except for the ward. But
I
it's like
thought
you
I
I
can't
think
really
I
do
think
that.
I
I
think
guess.
ring being common is like, because the thing about the ring is like you don't have a good spec weapon as well. Like like a lot of the power tied to the ring also relies on you having other items or whatever.
I will say this, and just for the ring, I don't, in terms of its weight, kind of just like absence how actually good it is in game. I don't think that a lot of people are going to be able to understand how good it is just from like reading what it does. But I think if it was extremely expensive, a lot of like more casual people would just straight up never use it.
That's true.
I think that I don't know. That's so like I don't. It feels like for how good it is, it's I hate seeing that it's 10 mil, but at the same time, like
Mhm.
if it was like 300 mil, like I think so few people would ever actually own one. And I think
Yeah,
it's a fun
that's
item to
true.
use. So like maybe it's
Oh,
better for
but-
just people to have more fun using specs.
True, but also like on the flip side, when they make it the most common item, you almost get the impression that it's like supposed to be like a lesser reward and not like like one of the better items from the raid. But like
That's a good point.
I feel like that maybe gives like the noobs a wrong impression as well, in a way. I'm not sure, but
What do you think, Billy?
Okay. Thank you for leading me.
Yeah, what is
Okay.
that? What is that?
Don't even get Philly
I think-
started.
I think you run into a situation where like something has to be common, and they either needed to design
Yeah.
weaker items or they needed to just accept that this is grades was going to be unique, and everything should have been on this one tier. Then Shadow was twice as rare, and it was just like you got a purple, it was always great, but purples are rare as fuck. I would have been fine with that, but the way it is right now, like you can't put anything besides maybe ward in the shitter spot and have it make any sense because every item is a fucking juice or upgrade.
Yeah, all the items from
agree.
Toa are like in the end pretty good.
Yeah.
Not pretty good. Like they're like actual like and for how easy they are, especially like if you're like an early game Iron Man, like the path for everyone just feels like go straight to Toa, get your bis upgrades in like 2 seconds, and then
Yeah, CG into Toa.
I think my personal preference would have been to make everything other than Shadow the same weight, like Billy said. Make Shadow twice as rare as everything else, and then make purples maybe like 50 or 60% less common. That would like I don't know, not a radical change, but
I think
That's
even
what I think.
more uncommon
Oh.
actually. I think like twice as rare as they are right now. If you want prices to still be good on a lot of these items.
Well, I mean the price
Definitely.
isn't going to be tied to like the actual GP per hour of the content, right? Like people understand that. Or I hope
The
understand
GPNR
that.
is like
Yeah.
roughly the same.
Yeah. It
is what
just
you're
in
saying,
terms
yeah.
of like how accessible things become to people not doing the content.
Yeah, which like for me, like as much as I think the GPNR should be higher, there's like almost nothing you can like really do about that. But I do think it is an issue that like the items are so cheap, regardless of GPNR.
The only way
What do
you
you
make
think
a GP
about-
per hour higher is make it not as accessible. So like make
Yeah.
lower invocations just not a thing.
Right.
Which I
The
think
only
I don't
issue
think
I
I
have-
wouldn't
Make
suggest
more
that.
words.
And the only issue you end up with there is like if something is they're all the same rarity and you only want the fucking Fang because it's you don't have that thing to fill that niche and you just end up getting like body chaps you know like yeah you're getting great upgrades but you only want the one and you're making zero progress towards it and it's like the most important thing for you. I guess
Right.
that's just part of playing RuneScape, but at the same time like then you get into like should there be like fragments or something. I don't know. I don't know have a solution to that, and I really don't care. I think they should just be rare as fuck and be done with it. But
I guess
I also could see punishing people that get unlucky and get a bunch of different rares that they don't want. Having to play a ton of raids without a Fang as an Iron Man kind of sucks.
I will say, just if I can get on my Iron Man soapbox for a second and just bitch about RNG. Like I think Tob is a good example of content that only has two useful items, really, right? Not counting a Vernic, it's Sang and Scythe. And I did fucking 1600 Tob without either of those. So I had like 40 drops and none of it made a difference for my account. Like it definitely felt bad. I mean, I'm addicted enough to the game to like power through that, but I don't think that Tob is great in terms of balancing drop tables. Like how like useless Justy is, both like price wise and in game use. Like versus Sang, which is probably like the second most broken item ever introduced to the game.
I mean, I agree that like if you're gonna get a bunch of quote unquote undesirable purples, I'd rather it be at TOA than at Tob because at least there's still bis items that are really good to have.
Drops are all really good,
Yeah.
aren't they?
All of the TOA drops are really good.
Yeah.
The only one that kind of feels lackluster is the ward, but even that has like it's not like you'd be upset getting that on an Iron Man. Like that's still
Yeah, like
nice to have.
Yeah.
it's actually a good item.
Oh yeah, but the biggest problem with Ward is you have to combine it with an item that's a pain in the ass to get, right?
But you don't have to. Like even on its own, it's like potentially a good item. Like
Can you upgrade it without the stats as a normie? Anyway, like, can you pay to have it done, or do you need
No.
those stats? That's a little
that's
weird.
you need it.
You need the
I don't know how I
stats.
feel about
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of why some people
Yeah.
thought it would be a good merge because surely they were like, because like I don't know why it's necessary to have those high
Yeah,
stats.
it's a pain in the ass. I'm training this up right now just to get the item, and it's like,
Yep.
why am I doing this? I'm not even gonna use it that much.
Wait, do normies come maxed? I thought they did.
Okay,
Shut up.
Did you guys normies not come maxed?
moving on.
Anyways,
I
I'm,
guess
I'm just okay, we were talking about this early at the very start, right? Like the accessibility. Like I just absolutely hate the fact that it's even possible for some Billy Bob to go up and do a zero invocation rate and actually get a staff. Like even if it is dumb rare, like which it just might be, I just don't think it should have been a thing at all.
Can we talk for a second? What's like the point of having the unique displays for different levels if everything's accessible from every raid? I thought the whole idea with it wasn't going to be.
Yeah, it's
don't know.
weird.
Yeah,
That whole
that's what I
thing is
also
really
found.
weird.
Yeah.
If it's supposed to be like 1 in like a bazillion or whatever, but I don't know. I didn't really get the point of it either. But I don't know. I also don't think it's like a big deal because it is like so stupidly rare, supposedly, right?
I mean, yeah, no one's
mean,
farming entry
I've-
mode. Like, I guess
There
like,
was
it
like
doesn't.
No,
I don't
no.
think it's a problem necessarily, but I would have just liked to have seen it not on normal, personally. Just shadow.
The biggest thing though is like, even if it's really rare, it can still happen, and some dude's gonna get his Iron Man just absolutely fucking spooned on some entry TOA, and then it's just like, well, that kind of sucks.
Yeah,
I
then
was
not for
gonna
him,
say, wasn't there a
Yeah.
level 76 Iron Man that got it in an entry mode?
Yeah, then he's gonna clip it at top bank, or TOA bank. Someone's gonna screenshot, and he's gonna become Billy Bob Sticker 13 on Discord. That's the
Yeah, we
bottom
need to
know.
get there.
line.
Like there have been noob Iron Men getting T-bows for like forever. Like, look at
I
Danny.
agree.
You
I
know,
agree.
like,
Yeah, look at Danny.
That was
He's-
uncalled for.
But
Damn.
at least getting
Oh.
the T-bow required you to do the content as it was like intended to get the drop. Like
No,
with TOA,
no,
you
that
can-
that's the
No,
thing.
not
That's
true.
the
that's why I
thing.
said look at Danny. He got his in like an 8-man like friendship regular. Like, you know.
Right.
Yeah, but
Friend-
there's people of a guy like I don't remember some picture, some dude getting like a 1 KC bone crossbow, 1,000 point T-bow, you know, on a hardcore Iron Man.
Yeah, same shit.
Yeah,
But
He
yeah.
did not do the content. Did not step into the own room. He might have killed a couple of scavs and he might have caught a fish.
I mean,
Or
in the same
bad.
breath,
I mean,
I
I
say we have to
mean-
be willing to make it so that can't happen either, because I think both are just dumb.
Well, maybe what we're getting at is that the invocation system with TOA was kind of just a missed opportunity to make it so that, you know, what if you could only get Shadow from like a 450 plus raid, and it took a while for the first Shadow to come into the game, because obviously you would have had to do that raid with Sang, and then like,
Mm.
you know, like what if then Shadow would probably still be 15 bill right now?
See, I
It'd be-
think-
it'd be sick.
Yeah.
I think I only care about balancing insofar as like it actually changes how the item's farmed. I don't really give a shit if like people have like a 1 in 3,000 chance of their few entry mode Warners getting a shadow. But like in terms
I
of
don't
like the
know, like-
actual price of the item, I think it could have been. I think the overall TOA system could have been healthier if shadow just wasn't on the regular table and everything else stayed the same. Anybody like
What do you mean
you guys-
regular table?
no, like sorry, so
That's
only
the
was available 300 plus, like not available for
300
normal mode.
plus.
Right.
I'm not a big fan of people hitting the lottery. It just doesn't really resonate with me. Like it seems like you should have to do something to earn, like in this case, like 1.5 billion, whatever it is. Like,
I guess most of us who have been like Iron Men for a long time now, like we've seen so many people come and go who just spoon them like scythe or bow on KC2 and then burn out like a month later. Like I feel like it doesn't.
and
even
that's
faze
another
me
issue
anymore.
too. Like if you give, it almost ruins the account. Right? Like, say you're a normie and you're literally like 100 mil bank, and you get a 2 bill item. It's like, oh well, that's I kind of like there's nothing for me to do anymore. Like
I
obviously
disagree
there
with
is,
that.
but
No,
they're,
No,
they're not.
I heavily disagree with that, because like
Yeah.
that happened to a lot of my friends, and that's actually kind of what gets you into the game, because like this game has like 6 bill worth of like really good gear. You're not gonna get it all in one drop, and if you get like a bill, it's actually kind of encouraging, because then you can actually get a lot of good items, and you still have stuff to go for. I don't know.
You spoon
I
that.
have-
You
I have-
spurn that first like million or first 1 bill drop, dude. You get your first hit. You're hooked.
Yeah, like that's what happened to my friend. He got his T-bow, and then like I don't
I
know.
mean, it's gonna be anecdotal either way. But having been the beneficiary of a trust fund that injected my account with several billion,
That's
gold,
different. You didn't get it yourself. You just got to give
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I made about 1 billion gold during TOA on the random drops, whatever, and like I don't know.
I mean,
I
they,
didn't
they're.
really do anything.
I guess I don't know. It's hard to say because like on one hand, we all like don't most people agree that like when your friends get into RuneScape, like it's not good just to like hand them 2 bill, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like my friend is an Iron Man and he's getting the stats for TOA. First account, he's having fun or whatever. I'm gonna carry him through an entry mode TOA as soon as he can, just because he wants to see it. What if he gets like a fucking shadow there? Like obviously he's gonna be happy. I'm gonna be happy for him, but like
Billy Bob Sticker 14 right there.
yeah,
Tell him
that's
it's a
like,
bad item and run away with it.
like holy fuck, like what is he supposed to do with that? Like that just warps his experience with the entire game. It's now not a traditional experience, and I don't know if I like that.
Well, I
It's
feel-
just on-
I think it's different for Iron Man or not because if you're an Iron Man and you get it, you still have to get the rest of the shit from TOA, right? So it doesn't. I don't feel like it changes a ton. It changes how you do the raids, but you still do all the same stuff. I feel like the argument is maybe stronger if you're a normie and you get that 1 bill drop, and then you buy
everything.
everything else, right? Like, and
Yeah.
maybe that ruins some of the
I mean,
progression.
like,
But I
I
don't
think you guys
it-
are just forgetting that you
Okay.
can't get max gear with a bill. You can't even get close. You know?
Yeah,
max
but
gear
you,
these days
you
is
don't
like
need
7.5
max
bill.
gear to like completely invalidate most content. Like if you're not awful.
What?
Like, all of a sudden you go from doing entry modes to skipping to 300s because you bought Fang plus full bandos, like everything you need.
Well,
Like, I
what's
don't
wrong
know.
with
But
that?
you don't have
still have
staff.
Torva and Tebow and like a
Yeah,
lot
but
of
not
stuff to go for.
everything is about like. I'm talking about the enjoyment in the moment, not like as RuneScape as a game. Yeah, if the only game that exists in this world is RuneScape, and the only thing to do in your life is RuneScape, then yeah, obviously, oh, that's just a stepping stone to more RuneScape. But like for a lot of people, it's like, well, I got 2 bill. Like all of a sudden, it's like, well, do I really care about grinding out an extra 6 billion gold for the next? And a lot of people, it's like, well,
But it's not really like that. It's not like you grind 6 bill and then you get your No, it's like if you
I mean, I
if
can
you get a one
personally tell
bill
you
like
that
what
like
I guess
that's how
well,
it
it's gonna
was for
be it's gonna
me.
be different for everybody, right? I guess
well,
we
yeah,
can't say like
that's what we're getting
universal.
at. Like,
Yeah.
I think we're both speaking off personal experience because I started my
But
normie with
dude,
like 2 bill and it was really nice. I had a really good time.
but getting that drop, and honestly, at some point also like there are stuff like Infernal Cape and like even just like doing that and enjoying the like learning this shit. Like I don't know. That's probably some of my like my most enjoyed part of this game was like learning when I did learn Inferno and I started getting better at the game and I eventually learned Solo Chambers as well and like Solo Chambers is such good content for the whole learning curve at least and
What do you guys think about the ornament kits? Do you think they were a proper incentive? Like, are they well balanced? Do they get people to try harder shit than they normally would?
It's fine.
so I don't know about I was just in general that I remember hating it early on. Everybody fucking just running only 150s or whatever. Like I hated that people weren't trying to push higher just in general. Like always push higher even now there's like all some evidence about maybe 400 is where invocation but like caps out for improving your rates and whatnot and it's not confirmed by anything but I don't know. I think it's a shame that yeah, I don't know. You don't push higher, but I think the kits are definitely good. Like, I mean, a lot of people have done 500 that otherwise wouldn't. I'm sure.
Yeah,
That's
I
definitely
mean before the kit came out, like nobody was really even
Even trying.
bothering to try, right?
Yeah, there was
And
no
then
reason to do
Yeah.
300.
as soon as it did, then like suddenly like oh you have a whole bunch of people like actually trying to
But
do their 500.
but
And
it also helps that it got a lot easier with some of the
right,
game, like a lot more accessible to do
right.
500.
I mean with the update itself that they made 500 like significantly easier, and we also got, that was like the same
That
day as the
was
shadow buff as well. It's like
well, that would kids came out before that. Yeah.
I thought kids came out the same
No,
day
because like
that
we
shadow got buff.
no.
No, okay.
No, because remember there's the September 14 update. No one said fucking passed about it got easier or whatever.
Well,
And
the
that kids
first
have been out for a week then. Kids have been
no,
out for a week
when
then.
the kits came out, they had already made it easier, and then the next week it got even easier, and probably the week after that it got even easier again. Because there was like there was the buff, and then there was also like them
Oh yeah, then they
removing
added deadly prayers.
the deadly
Right,
prayers,
okay.
and you
That's
Yeah,
the
got
one I
like
was
yeah.
thinking of,
pilot
deadly prayers
prayers,
and this shift to
and
invocations.
you also got like I swear you got like 15 like imbo just from running like a typical setup for free because of all the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
remounts. Like the
Yeah,
upset stomach going from like 5 to 15 or whatever it is now.
Well, yeah, and the
Yeah,
fact that you could use
got
the
buffed
no
like
sup,
twice.
you could use a no supply, and you could
Right. That is also that one was
like
interesting.
that one was huge because like honestly I prefer running that one. I hate dude like it's so ridiculous. You see some people without any of the things and they like go into Warden. Like I saw a screenshot of a guy with a full like legit 28 potions or whatever
Wait, what?
in his
Was it
pouch.
just like all
I
brews and
think
restores?
well yeah I
Like
think
double
like
life?
somebody going double life yeah
it
without
was
like
Chico.
was it
Was it
I think it was
TJ?
Chica that posted
It was
that
Chico,
posted it I saw.
yeah.
Wait, TJ went double life.
Well, I don't.
Yeah.
I think it was a mistake. Maybe it's a thing. I don't know what. I just saw the screenshot. It was just like a full pouch of potions. Like it's ridiculous how many potions you get for a fight where you honestly don't even take that much damage. Like assuming you do it
I will
right.
say one thing I'm not crazy about is I feel like just like the way the potion meta has worked out is that like it's just survive till wardens, right? Because like once you get to wardens and
Yeah,
you get your
yeah,
life, like
Basically, yeah.
you're chilling at that point.
yeah. You're piss chilling, and I kind of don't like that at all. Yeah.
I will say I am a big fan of even just like in the last like week, like seeing more and more people just like asking to run 2400s and stuff. I don't feel like people would be pushing quite this high if it wasn't like for the Fang kits. And even like I guess the board kit runs too, like making people realize like, oh, this shit's more doable than I thought.
Well, I think a big thing too is so when they did the slight nerf to the 150s and then the buff to everything else, we don't really know the official drop rates or anything, and there was less like community data at that point. But just that wording, a lot of people were just at 150s because they just assumed that's kind of where it was capping out at, and more importantly, they wanted things like Fang and stuff like that before they went farther. But as soon as they had that like incentive to push, they did, and I think that the kits accomplished that. Like that, back to the original question, really, really well. I don't think you need much more. I think it's in a pretty decent spot.
Yeah, do you guys
Well, yeah,
keep-
it was people started doing higher. It was when they did they saw what was it, like 300. Like an expert was like what was it
2.5 times better.
2.5 times better than a 150 or whatever.
Yeah,
And
everybody.
150s were
That's when
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
Just
started
a
running
record
record
experts.
scratch moment for everybody.
Yeah. and 150s were probably super shit before the nerf too, and people should have been pushing for
Probably,
a
yeah.
long- But like again, it,
Well, I
it
don't-
took that psychological push to be told like it got nerfed, even though it wasn't a humongous nerf. It was pretty significant. You know what I mean? Like it just took that.
Yeah.
It's like back to like Seth used a league analogy when people they do those psychological like those tiny little buffs and nerfs just to get champions back into the like minds
Right.
of people. It's the same shit. It's like, oh, maybe I should be pushing.
Yeah.
You know?
And on the flip side of that, everyone that wanted to keep doing 150 started getting really mad, even though their drop rate was like not like much affected at all.
Oh yeah, people were like
Yeah,
the
like
rage
12% of
ruined,
nothing.
right?
Like
That
the
wa-
same
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
but on the opposite
Oh
side.
yeah.
Right?
I
12%
hate
of
how
nothing is still nothing.
Jackies keep moving the goalposts and what
Like
the-
Reddit was like on fire that day or that
Oh,
That
they were
was- That shit
pissed.
was ridiculous.
Well, to be
man.
fair, okay, we had the people on there, the Billy Bobs with their Zamorak Hostas slapping titties for the TOA. Like, it's not their fault that they're doing their best out there.
Dude, because you know, like that week, every time somebody got a white light, they're like, that would have been a purple last week. Like, you know, that's what they were thinking, right?
Oh my god.
and then the purple bug, they're like, oh, they brought 10 jillion gold into the game. That's why my bank is worth nothing.
Yeah,
And,
all the
when
Dirty
they-
Oblivion members. We got
Yeah.
4 of them here, right? You guys answer for
Yeah.
your crimes
Wait,
against the
I am
game.
not I am not an Oblivion member.
Oh, I thought
We
you
still
were,
have
Kappa.
one?
My bad.
Hell no. Fuck Oblivion.
He could be. He chooses not to.
The official Zafcast position. Fuck Oblivion.
Yeah.
I do not subscribe to this position.
Yeah, off my clannies.
Yeah, what the hell, guys?
Wait, are you an Oblivion port?
Yeah.
Do you know Oblivion
Oh.
Bean?
Who?
Who?
No, sorry.
Being
I've only-
from
He
Oh.
didn't.
I don't know who that
Didn't-
is.
Never
Yeah.
heard of him. I
Yeah,
don't
who's
think I've
that?
ever heard of him.
I've
really-
only heard of Oblivion Yumi personally, so.
I know-
Oblivion Yumi is the best name in RuneScape. I said it.
God, we're gonna bait
Dude.
Gian with one of these league references. He stayed quiet for all of it. I could tell he's just over there. He's stewing.
Oh, he just got to see a Heimerdinger support versus a NASA support game at Worlds.
I was
so
gonna say,
he's
or
pretty-
he's just watching League and half listening. Who's to say
I
which
no,
is?
I closed the stream because I couldn't focus and I'm about to fall asleep.
I see.
All right, yeah.
Thanks for
Gian,
saying
you know
up
what
for
we
us,
forgot?
Gian.
You know what we forgot, Gian? During the introduction, we should have reminded everyone that we're actually world first completers of Toa.
Oh, true. We're the superstar.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Is that a world record of sorts?
World
I mean,
first.
for
of.
Toa, I think so.
I guess clarify which were you guys on the first normal or the first expert? I forget which.
Normal.
First normal.
That's right.
I
Yeah.
think.
And where's my
What's his
invite
name?
for that?
J Rays was first expert.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, shout out J Rays.
Would have been
Oh,
Uplift,
yeah.
Bean,
Shout out
and
to
Port
James.
and all them, but they went to bed.
Hey, so you don't know
Hey,
who Oblivion
I got
is? What
second.
the-
I'll take it.
Port
Did you
Europe,
actually?
Yeah, they even gave me
should-
a fucking.
Oh, they
little
did.
shout-out.
Yeah, I remember now.
Did you guys
You
get
stayed
your
up
membership
that
yet?
night.
You guys get your membership?
Yes. Yes.
You did. It
we
finally
Yes,
came
yes.
through.
And
Alright.
apparently,
shit.
the J Rays got it twice because
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
he had
What?
already he had already like at some mod like give me my membership, so he had gotten it, and then somebody had like I think Joel tweeted someone, and they finally got around to giving us it, and they also gave it to J Rays, so he just got it twice.
I see.
How
I
much
wish-
membership was it?
1 year.
A year.
That's
I mean,
pretty
kind of
broad.
deserved. Honestly, extra year for them being like a month late isn't that unreasonable, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like it's
I
kind of dumb
agree.
that like a bunch of you guys
Well,
were
no,
rebonding
well-
when you're like already year membership.
Well, yeah, well, sure, but we didn't get an extra year. He got
Oh,
an
no,
extra
I-
year,
I
and he got it
know.
earlier.
But like honestly, he should just get to keep it at that point. Like whatever.
Oh, I really
definitely
hope they don't.
do.
I hope.
Yeah.
I hope like. I hope that J-Mod doesn't hear this and like yoinks his ear. That'd be kind
I
of
hope
fun.
that does happen. That'd be pretty funny.
Oh no.
I think he tried to come forward and say like, yo, how do I lose this membership back?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know
he
why. Like he
tagged.
should just keep it.
Yeah, I think he tagged Mod Arcane about it.
I see.
At that point,
I do wish we had the option to choose which account, because I'd like my group Ironman to get the 1 year.
Don't worry,
Dude, it's weird because you do usually get an option. Like every other time I've seen people win membership, they usually get asked like what account name they want it on. So I
Oh,
don't know why.
really?
They
Hmm.
just,
I feel like
guess
so
they
now
just
you're
looked at
saying.
the accounts that completed it and just assumed, I guess.
I guess I
Yeah,
wanted.
but I feel like you say they usually do. Isn't it just sort of just like depends on who does it, like who gets around to
Right,
doing the task?
there's
Probably like
no real protocol, right? Which is why you guys
yeah.
also get it a month late, and as
Yeah.
does everyone else.
Some
Like,
They're all-
some
they're
intern
also
on day
like-
2 is probably like given this task, like, hey, give these people their membership.
Well,
dude,
it's funny
who
because
knows
they all.
because it's like actually
start-
insane.
you just start tweeting at some JX mods every day until you eventually get it by
Yeah,
accident.
that's the meta for a lot of shit in this game to get it
Yeah.
taken care of.
That what the isn't that what the pures do?
Dude, I can't believe they're
No,
getting
just
fucking
Sean.
Addy gloves.
Monkey madness
Oh my
or whatever
God.
the fuck they get to
I mean,
go
they're
back to
not
Ape
getting the
Atoll.
gloves because
Oh,
they're
are they
making
not?
like hard recs on the gloves, but they are getting like Monkey Madness 2 completion and like the pinning spot, clue spot, just a bunch of shit.
Can they get heavy ballista now?
They
No,
can't.
no.
You have to do the training
I
to be
see.
able to use it.
They
That's good.
specifically, yeah, did that
I
right.
mean, Zeroth can get Zenites now on his pure. He was talking about that.
Oh, that's sick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Holy
Dude,
shit.
Now
wait,
we like it. Let's
wait,
go.
no, I was gonna say
Let's
that-
Holy
go.
fuck.
Well, that's always been like I think a huge negative in terms of playing one defense irons. Like, yeah, like 100%. But like you restrict yourself shit, but like not being able to get Zenites, I thought was always kind of lame.
Also,
yeah, that's a good change in my.
it's kind of cool
There's a-
because it like before Shadow was just about as good as Trident for them, but now that they have Torm, Shadow's like really good. So kind of cool too.
Fuck it, I'll play the one. I'm so burnt.
Isn't
I
your
wanted-
one defense
Yeah.
13
Oh, no.
defense, Duke?
I
I'm
have 4
considering
bonds still waiting
Chappa.
for you.
Dude, I burnt on Tutorial Island while waiting to get those bonds.
Bro.
I didn't
use
finish
White
it.
Obama, don't worry.
Holy shit.
I wanted to ask, Gian mentioned his group Ironman. How do you guys feel about the recent trend of people basically buying D-Iron items onto their group Ironman accounts for like a
You know,
premium?
actually, Duke, I had an encounter with one of those guys, and I called him a normie.
Oh,
No,
wow.
no.
Those-
What they are and they are and what
They're
they always
normies.
have been like fake irons. Fake irons.
They're-
Like they're
I'm
fake irons to begin with. They're still fake irons.
Okay, hold on.
like-
I'm not extremely familiar with it. Can somebody who is like well versed with it briefly explain what the process looks like right now in terms of getting these irons or getting the items? Like what happens?
So from what I've understood, you take a main Iron Man who has like the items you seek. He de-irons into your group Iron Man team. So they all become like unranked group Iron Man, I believe, and then you trade items over for GP on your main.
I see. Is it one like are you restricted then to that group, or can you sell your items to like a bunch of different groups?
you can hop groups somehow. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
But I
There might
believe
be
there's a-
there might be like a time limit because like you can only, or maybe that's like just like you can only take so much out of the group storage, for example, early on.
I think it's a 2-week process where you have to have been part of the group for 2 weeks for them to take your shit. I think. So you can
I
like sell
see.
as many groups as you want, but every single time you hop, it'll be a 2-week period before they can get your shit. I think.
See.
Yeah,
Maybe.
someone
But
was offering to sell me like 10,000 brews and shit while they were de-ironing.
How much were they asking for?
Triple the price? No, at the time I think it was even more, maybe like 4 times.
It's
It was
mostly
like-
the supplies that get marked up a
cheap.
lot. Stuff like T-Bow is only like $2 if you go and buy it from these people.
Yeah, I thought that resource were supposed to be like 100k each or something.
I wouldn't
But
be
it's
surprised if
ridiculous.
supplies are
Mm.
probably more common, or it's probably like harder to get, right? Because like there's a bunch of people out there with an Iron Man on their T-boat who like are de-ironed or like don't play anymore, who will take a payday. But like there's not a ton of people with like a shit ton of brews just chilling on their iron.
Get Goose. That's why Goose has like 18,000 restores. Get him to the iron. That's so
If-
much money if they're 100k each.
I was gonna say, if I had thought about this while de-ironing, I would have cancelled the de-iron,
It wasn't
paid
really
the
a
boys.
thing.
Yeah,
No, it
wasn't
wasn't.
Were the mechanics
Yeah,
in place
we
to
we
do
were
it?
like a month early. No, we were like a month too
No.
early because unranked group just came out later, right? But
Yeah.
maybe they said it was gonna happen. I'm not sure. But I think the reason why supplies are so expensive is that like the people who play group iron maybe want to have like a more casual experience, but they still want to do like all the item farming themselves. So like maybe they're not that interested in buying uniques, but like skipping all the herb runs and shit, like that sounds kind of nice to me. Like I would love to have just had like 5k brews and restores and shit on my iron when I was an iron.
Dude,
Dude,
I wouldn't want
Paul-
to just get a Tebow on it, you know?
to put my
Yeah.
cranky old old school Iron Man hat on for a second, like in my mind this is like the end game of everything Iron Man's been moving towards, where it's literally now just like gear progression, right? You buy your supplies, like just do the fun
Dude.
shit, skip the boring
Right,
shit,
'cause
swipe the credit
right,
card.
see, it used to be like snowflakey, like 'cause you have to do actual different methods, and then now they just
Yeah.
like slowly change the game into like making methods for Iron Man. Like
Yeah, like if you look at the sandstone shit and all that. right?
yeah,
Yeah.
sand and
Yeah.
seaweed's like a big one.
Dude, could you
Back
imagine?
in my day,
No, go ahead, Grace.
I was gonna say, can you imagine like on a new iron or an early game iron, you just buy a ring of endurance and a shitload of stam pots, and you just have all of that for questing, and you just never have to walk like 24/7.
Yeah.
Bro, that would be
Yeah.
so beans. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah,
you,
like
talking
that's
about
why they're
beans for
doing
a
it,
second?
right?
well, I guess
Why
before,
is beans?
well, go ahead, Billy. What are
I
you
need to know
asking?
why beans became a good thing. And
Who
it's
started
only in
this?
this
Who
community.
started this?
Well, it's
I
because
imagine
bean
the
mode,
British
right?
Yeah.
people.
I'm pretty sure it comes from bean mode. So.
Bean mode came out way later, dude.
Oh, really?
How can
Yeah.
bean mode predate like bean meaning a good thing? That would make no
Yeah.
sense. People would just,
How
like
would that make no sense? How
imagine
would that
being
make
the
no sense?
being the first dude saying bean mode. People are just like, "What the fuck are you saying?"
What do you mean, dude? Like,
The
if someone's
way
like,
I
dude, I'm going bean mode right now, like, that, of course you know what he means. Like,
Yeah, because if you're the. Alright.
The
think
way
I
I
know where it
remember it
came
is
from.
Aurel just joining voice chat and starting to say like, "Oh, that's beans," like, and then it just caught on. I guess.
Was it
No,
just was it
didn't
a
you guys-
coincidence that we were playing Partners in Time at the same time and the beans are like the currency in that?
Oh,
Or was
that
that
what it
because of that?
No,
It was
I
like the same
think it was
week that
because of that.
happened.
I remember you. I remember you, like Duke, Joel, Aurel, and Port were playing some game. Yeah,
Bean
and there-
battles. I think.
that's when.
It wasn't bean battles. What the
Bean
fuck are you
battles.
saying?
You said it was like God
It was,
Awful
it
or
was
something like
Mario
that.
and the
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
Partners
that's
in
what you
Time.
said. Partners.
Yeah,
Gian heard
I don't
I
know.
miss
that.
so much of you guys. man.
that
It's
is when
crazy.
I started hearing about the beans. I think, or maybe that's just because like Duke was like, "Shut up about the beans" or whatever. Then
Oh my god, yeah. Okay, I do remember that.
I did hate it at first. I really resisted it.
it grew on you, didn't it? Though.
It did. I will. I hate it. I'm gonna be like Echo saying piss chilling to his wife, dude. I'm gonna say beans in casual conversation. It's gonna make no sense.
I've
Did
already
Echo say
started.
piss
I-
chillin' to his wife?
Yeah,
That's
piss
funny.
chilling to
That's
his
hilarious.
wife.
Like I don't spend like as much time in voice chat as you guys and stuff, and I use your guys' vernacular all of the time, and it really pisses me off sometimes.
Yeah, it's because it catches on, dude.
It does catch on. It's catchy.
That's why we
dude.
use. Yeah, exactly. It's because it is catchy.
Dude, we gotta get. If we do this again, we gotta get Aurel on here, dude. He is like, I feel like more credit goes to him than anybody else in
Yeah,
terms of
I-
popularizing stupid
mean,
sayings.
Yeah, but
I
I
still
feel
say
it's just
quart like all of the time.
It's corked.
It's quart.
Is it just
quart.
uplift word of the week? Isn't that just sort of what it was, or
Honestly, I
or
don't.
is that
I
just
think
what
I
we
think
made fun of him for?
I think we make the obliv words, and they steal.
Oh,
I think for a long time, wasn't like Aurel our only like close friend in Oblivion, or like the only like super active ones? We just assumed it was all him, but now like a bunch of people here in Oblivion, and they don't all talk like that. Like it's definitely
No,
an
it's,
Aurel.
Aurel
thing.
is the source.
Yeah.
Aurel makes
It was
Oblivion
just
people
Aurel.
like that. Yeah.
so Aurel is really where it
Nuclear.
starts.
It all ties back to Aurel.
Nuclear
Like, I
and the
was-
nuclear.
I was in a Vanguard's Discord, which is like one of the like groups in Oblivion, the other week, and like they kept saying Marcusing and like Max it Marcus, and like I couldn't believe that was something that caught on because I know like that was something that started here as well, and I just thought it was like the stupidest shit.
That was like 2
When I-
years
so
ago,
I,
dude.
that's so
That's
IE,
old.
yo. They're fucking living
Yeah,
in the
They're
past.
so
dude.
IE, and then when I see them copying it, I'm like, wait, what the fuck is going on? Like,
Oh my god.
and apparently they love it. Like they absolutely love Max it Marcus. Like what?
I will say, like the first
So
time
dumb.
I tuned into one of the Oblivion Bingo draft streams, and there were just like 10 people in voice, and they all talked exactly like Aurel. I was fucking
Yeah.
tripping. Oh my god.
Yeah. In
Aurel
like
really
the
is a
Twitch chat as
personality.
well for like the draft stream.
It was like that the first Obliv bingo I did. It was just like being on a team with like 10 RLs. It's so weird.
I guess shout out Oblivion. They're getting a lot of airtime on this. Oh, was there anything else I wanted to ask you guys about?
Shout out Oblivion, make me and Captain. Thank you.
I
Charles,
did.
you're gonna fail the next gear check.
Yeah, I
I
was
haven't
gonna
been
say,
focused
Prowse,
here,
will
check.
you even pass it?
If they put TOA stuff on there, no. But I don't know. Recently, I've been thinking I'll kind of play my Iron Sum and get some dupes to get max gear again on my main. I don't know.
I guess we all kind of have vaguely referenced that a lot of us are burnt. I guess for each of you, like, is there anything in the game that like really does interest you right now, or that you're enjoying a lot, or that you hope to do more of? I guess for me right now, like I don't know, I'm doing a little bit of Nex, mostly with Fang because I think duos are fun. I don't know. I enjoy TOA. I think I'm kind of past the point where I'm gonna do 800 of these to finish it. I don't see that
I'll say
happening, but
mine.
yeah, go ahead, Billy.
I want them to make skilling thralls.
What's it? What's
What?
it?
I want them to get
That
rid
was
of
the
her.
question.
Billy,
He's a
if we get
skilling thrall.
if we get a mining thrall, dude, you are never joining another TOA team. you will be
I'm a mining
replaced.
The mining troll.
But like, how cool would that be, man? Like summoning pets, but like with invisible stat boosts. I think that'd be cool.
Some RS3 shit right there.
Okay, everything's RS3 shit, man.
I guess you
Go
said
back
They
to
actually have
WoW.
that, right?
You said to answer the
They
question,
have that,
Billy,
yeah.
and then did not answer the question whatsoever because I asked what is exciting you in game, and you pitched your skilling
God.
thrall idea.
I interpret
Yeah,
it more
it's
like what could happen in the game that would make you more interested in playing.
Okay.
And skilling thralls are it.
Nah, dude, Billy's been sitting here the last 90 minutes. Like, how do I get in the topic of skilling?
No, I have my
How
other
do I
monitor
bring it
open,
up?
and I have a bunch of the statements, and then how I could segue those statements into mining thralls. I came prepared.
Yeah,
I
like,
just chose not to use them.
I appreciate it, Billy. There definitely are some people in life, like you talk to them and you can tell they're just waiting for their turn to talk about what they want to talk about. I appreciate you just like being open about it.
Yeah.
But Grayson, what about you?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, like, are we still talking about the mining throw thing, or what was even the question?
Dude,
Yeah,
whatever.
dude?
What do you want to talk about? What's on
Let's
your
talk
mind?
about mining
Talk to
thralls.
us.
Mining thralls are literally just the people like the Billy Bobs with 50 mining in the P1 Aka room, bro, that hit the obelisk. Those are the real mining
What's-
thralls.
That
What's
is
a
exactly what
mining
mining
troll,
troll
man?
is.
I'm trying to
Okay.
figure out what a mining troll is.
It's like Danny at
okay.
TOA, you know?
It would it would
Billy.
be like a summoning pet, like you'd summon like the beaver, and it would give you +3 invisible woodcutting boost.
Is it like
And how do
chop
you
the
summon
tree
one
with
of
you?
those?
It's similar to the normal thralls. You press the fucking button and it comes up.
I guess if any of you are still
The
listening to
button.
this after an hour and a half, sound off in the YouTube comments if you like the skilling thrall idea. Show some support for
Oh
Billy because
my
he's not getting it on the call.
Shit.
Yeah.
Is there
Yeah,
anything
I
in
don't-
game that you're doing, Grayson? I know you said you're pretty burnt.
No, I mean, the only thing that kind of interests me is just getting a Fang and then going next and doing duos or trios or something and just getting some Scorva and then going back to Tob or something like that. But I'm just too burnt from the game right now to even go back into TOA at the moment. And like, I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but solos are really fun. Don't get me wrong for TOA, but holy shit, if teams for TOA don't just hit completely different, like I guess in the fun factor for the most part, just having it is just so much more enjoyable being with the boys and just fucking around and seeing someone just fall in the pit at Baba or just have some like bullshit happen at Zabak, like where they go and swim for a couple seconds. I don't know. It's just so much fun with other people instead of just soloing. I don't know.
I
That's
miss
just
the
me,
days
though,
where
but-
everyone would scream DD.
Oh yeah, like yeah. I mean yeah. I agree, like partying with the boys is it's pretty fun, and then I don't know. Then you do 4 raids in a row where there's like 10 deaths. It's like, all right, maybe we should just pot solo.
Yeah.
Wasn't
I mean-
that part of the fun sometimes though? Like
It honestly kind of is.
No, it's a
Like,
good change of pace.
I agree.
Well,
I'm
and
a
Seth-
big team fan.
when Duke
I-
died to was it P1 obelisk in our run where we were carrying Zarath's pure. That was the most fun I ever had.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the ball you DD for hit multiple times. I thought it was just 7.
If
Unlucky.
first you go down, then Shrimpa goes down, and then me and the cat or Nico Mimi have to fucking carry it.
I guess
It's crazy.
Gian might be doing the most RuneScape out of any of us. Gian, have you just been doing like
What?
mostly 500s? I don't know.
I'm
I swear.
100% potting more than Dion.
Are you?
Yeah,
I
Dion's like
think,
full-time league.
Yeah, I think I've done what is it, 5 TOA like this last week?
Aren't you guys playing Group Iron? What happened to that? No more?
We were.
You
Yeah, we
mean
were.
doing ammonite crabs?
Okay.
And we're not even doing that anymore.
Yeah,
So
I'm not even doing that.
I mean, I have a
it's fun
suggestion to
instead.
you, Kappa and Port. What
Yeah.
about we revive our normal group Ironman? They're
No,
all like
nope.
TOA ready.
No. I'm good. I'm good.
Dude, I was thinking about, like, we'll just pretend that we killed Ammonite crabs and did our birdhouse runs and farm runs for like
Bro,
2-3
what?
months.
Some off-screen
What are
mining.
you
yeah.
saying?
Wait, what?
Isn't there
Let's do the Rocky montage, whatever.
isn't there a plugin where you can give yourself hardcore status? Maybe that will help Port.
Yeah, well, so the thing is, like,
Oh.
me, Gian, and some other made group irons in the release, and we got quite far on those. I'd say, like, we got quite a few Sea Knights and some God Wars drops, even a few Chambers drops, some Bofas and whatnot.
Yeah, and I did a
Uh,
couple experts on that account.
Yeah, and then just now, last week or whatever, we made group irons again, and I don't know, we requested Barrow's gloves. What else? Yeah, we requested Barrow's gloves, we killed some sand crabs, and then kind of died there. So that's what I'm suggesting to Port right now is that we just pretend we play on the other accounts, and then we just pretend that we got that far on the ones we just made.
Isn't that how early game
I'm
Iron
not
Man
doing
is these
that.
days? Like you do all like the questing and the early game shit. Like I don't know, that's the most fun to me. Like as soon as you hit the point where you have to be
Yes.
routine with your hourlies and like actually
Yes.
train combat stats, like fuck that.
Yep.
Yeah, fuck that.
Dead
That's where
at
it
that
fell
point.
off.
Come on, Port.
I was telling Port when I was playing my 13 defense Iron Man a few years ago, like I did like I got up to like Addy gloves, I did like a bunch of skilling shit. I was like 1300 total, and then it was like oh, time to get combat stats. And I went to Ammonite Crabs. I was there for like 2 months. I got 99 strength, 99 range with like a bone crossbow and a rune sim. So I was just AFKing and then never logged in again. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, this
You know what?
motherfucker went back to Wintertot to make more money to buy more bone bolts.
Yeah,
Because he did not have an Avis.
I didn't have an Avas. Yeah, dude, we were
Oh
leaving that shit
my
on the
God.
ground. Shot
What
like
the
shot.
fuck?
I think I spent like I don't remember a couple mil on bone bolts. Yeah, shit adds up.
It's like
Built
Fuse
different.
pre-making his next hardcore while his current one is still alive. He just parks it at Sand Crabs for 3 months.
Yeah.
Dude, shout out the hardcore Iron Man community. You guys have given us a
No.
lot of laughs over the years. What about Mutz? Isn't Mutz a pre-remaker? Or wait, are we not allowed to talk about him? Is that the rule?
You can't post any tweets or talk
You
about
ca-
them.
exclamation point TUA chance number 19 or whatever
Anyway,
they do in much chat.
I guess other than the
Is this-
group Iron Man, are you guys? I guess are you
I
still
mean,
playing it all,
I'm-
Port? Are you logging in?
Well, okay, I'll go back to the question. Right?
Yeah.
The question was like stuff that for me, it's gonna have to be like hope to do because right now I have like no motivation to work on the shit I want to do. But I think over the next year, there's like a bunch of things that I would hope to have done. So I guess like going down a kind of list in my head, it would be. Well, the first one is like go back to Inferno speeds with the new gear because I just want to try that out and get like a nice PB that I'm happy with. Then I also wanna get like a lower combat gate. I want to get better at 3T 4G and get a PB 6 hour, and I want to learn how to do Barbarian Assault. I think that's like the things I would like
Dude.
to have done, but it's like
What was the
God, I
last
don't
one?
want to log in.
Hit me up.
Learn how to
Baron
play Barb
If
Assault.
you want to learn proper BA
Oh.
speeds, dude, hit me up. I would love to do some
Okay.
of that.
Okay.
I'd be
Sure.
down too, yeah. I'd be down to do some VA.
That
Actually.
would not
No,
be-
he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't.
I would
Proud-
BA is sick. What?
See, I'm in
I'd
like
be
the
down
same
to-
boat, right?
I
Like,
would not
I'll
be
say,
down to,
I
like-
want to, but I'll probably never end up actually podding.
I mean,
Wait.
I'm not gonna like run resets for speeds, but like I want to learn like how to do shit properly. I think that'd be
I
really
think-
fun.
I think like learning the basics of BA speedrunning would actually teach me a lot of like deeper game mechanics that I know nothing about. so
It
it'd be
would.
cool.
That's what everyone
Yeah.
says. Like it 100% does.
The BA community seems super cool too. Like they know a lot
I
of
need a
shit.
torso.
I wouldn't
I'll
mind.
join.
Yeah, meeting some people there.
Maybe I can
Those
get
guys are
Mahis to
so
carry
good
me.
at the game in their own.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty sick. I don't know.
Wasn't Para in the community?
Yeah, he was a
Wait, like Parasailer?
participant.
No,
No,
like the other one.
FE Para or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
Fuck that
Hey,
dude.
nice.
That guy sucks. Fresh Start Worlds. Are you guys doing that? I know Port mentioned it before.
Port's definitely that was next on the list. Port's list, I'm pretty sure.
No, dude, I was so hyped for it, like, what, not even a week ago, and then as I was talking to Kappa about it, I kind of realized, like, it's, I don't know.
Dude, you don't talk about something you're excited with somebody who's burnt with the game. What? That's like rule number
No, because
one.
Kappa
Stop
said,
saying I'm
Kappa said he
burnt.
was on board. Kappa said,
I'm proper.
yeah, I'm
I'm
on board, I'll play with you. And then we were
Kappa's
talking
a
about it, like,
nerd.
oh, we should rush something. And
Fine.
then we're like, oh, wait, there's no boosted XP, no boosted drop rate. So it's like, if you want to rush something, it takes, like, just way too
months
long to
even,
get to
and we
anything.
couldn't even play GIM for more than a week. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you guys think the game is in a good state right now?
Yeah, super good. But the problem with the game state, right, is I feel like RuneScape as a game is not really something that attracts like people who have never played it before. It mostly attracts people who play it for nostalgia, which is why the whole RuneScape community is the same age. They're all like mid-20s, I think. And the reason for that is just because like anybody who played this game played it as a kid. Nobody gets into this game like right now. So no matter how good the game is, the community will kind of just die off over time, I think.
it's probably just a ceiling to like how good this game's ever gonna get, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean it's like
how
you know.
well it can do.
Yeah, I don't feel like any of the underlying issues I have with the game have changed, but like I think right now, especially compared to the last couple of years, I feel like there's more interesting shit to do in game. Like people in
For
general
sure.
seem to be having more fun with it than they were like, especially last summer, like after the letdown that was hard mode top, like I think a lot of people were genuinely questioning like is the game just fucked? Like now it's like, yeah, it might be, but there's still fun stuff to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still afraid of this just because it took like what 4 years to get some decent new content here, and that's what I think Toe I think Toe was like pretty good content at the end of the day. Like,
I agree.
it's as good as anything we could have hoped for, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree with
Um,
that. Like I think yeah,
They did a good job with it.
I don't know. I think I'm still
I
too
feel
much.
like.
I'm too much of a Tob elitist at heart to probably like something like a new raid more than Tob. But I think I've definitely exceeded my expectations. Like especially after the last couple PVM releases, I was expecting very little.
And yeah, that I mean maybe that's the that's the trick to having a good release, you know. Just like a couple of years is really getting our expectation all the way down.
We're gonna get
That's
next V2 next year to get us ready
I
for
mean,
raids 4.
yeah.
as far as like TOA being good content, like I don't know, I think like
Nightmare.
like the subjective little details, like there's a lot of those about TOA that don't appeal to me. Like I don't like how good soloing it is. I don't like how like the reward scale. But the objective stuff, like just the way the raid looks and the quality of the raid, really good. I don't
I also
know. I
like
think everyone would agree.
we didn't talk about it much, but like the fact that the best things to do for money is like the higher levels, which are actually challenging. I think that's a huge plus. The
Yeah,
fact that it's not like I kind of hold that
Yeah.
against. I mean, I know Chambers is old now, but I feel like Chambers is so easy, deathless. Like you don't even turn your brain on. Like I find it really hard to enjoy doing a lot of Chambers, like outside of Team CM. I mean, solo CM is super hard too, but that's crackhead content.
Yeah, but you also have Sang to thank for that, right? Like
Oh yeah,
Sang,
dude, fuck Sang.
Sang just made Chambers.
I'm the biggest Sang
three-
hater around.
I like
I
that.
will say, like, as good as a job like they did with making like the drop rates actually scale better with invocation. Like I was genuinely surprised when they said it was 2.5 times better because it's like, oh holy shit, it's not like a hard mode top thing where they say it's better, but it's actually not. But
Yeah.
the issue I have, or I guess there's a couple of them, is like when they did like all the changes to the invocations, like I guess multiple times over multiple weeks, and like buffing the shadow and stuff. Kind of wish they rebalanced like the invocation thresholds as well. It's like at that point, I feel like it's fair. Like they made higher invos so much like more accessible, right? So I feel like they could have pushed like the reward boundaries a little bit up, and then also like the whole like I think people are seeing it like caps at 400 now, and past 400, like the only extra drop rate you're getting is from doing more damage, and I feel like that's kind of fucked as well. Like it just shouldn't ever cap. It should just scale all the way to max. If you ask me.
I agree.
And
Especially
obviously this isn't confirmed, but like I think there's some decent data on that at least.
yeah, I guess
Wasn't-
huge disclaimer. There's probably a decent chance you're listening to this after TOA drops have been released. We're like at the point now where they said they're coming this coming week. So we don't know the actual race, so going off the estimated.
Wasn't Chambers kind of similar where you could just like infinitely reset hands at the start to cap points?
I don't think it was that. People were doing. Wasn't that the
Oh.
huge alt scaling? people were doing. I don't remember exactly. Do any of you remember what specifically was involved? I remember they nerfed something with people doing huge alt skilled raids.
Okay, because I thought
know one thing they did was like they changed how like I know people could just like suicide potions to make it like super easy, right? Because they could come go in on another account and that account could die without a penalty.
Was that what they
yeah.
did where they made it so that personal deaths impact team points as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
that was the change.
what I know they
That's
did.
right.
I don't know if they did anything else, but that's one thing I know of at least. Yeah.
But yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Because I remember, people doing like it was like 8+30s people were doing on release, being like a
Right,
purple
and
every
just-
raid.
8 plus 30.
Or then just run in and drop
Yeah,
pots.
just.
And,
Mhm.
Hey,
yeah.
did they nerf that Zebak XP thing yet? Or can you still farm XP at Zebak with like ZCV and Spec Transfer?
I'm pretty sure you can still farm
I think you
XP,
still
but
can.
I
That
don't
shit
see
is
why it would be nerfed.
ridiculous.
Is it? I don't feel like it's that good.
Wasn't it like a
well,
ton of
you
effort to
have
be like a
to-
little better than chinning?
Yeah, it's a
Oh yeah,
lot
probably.
more. I think it's a lot more effort, but
Like
it's-
range is a nothing skill. Range is like 1.3 mil an hour in AFK.
Yeah,
Like
it's
range,
not-
range
range,
XP is
you can-
meaningless.
You can
But at
try
the end of
melee
the
like
d-
that too, right?
At the end of the
what?
day, like why? Nah, because he there's no save tile anymore.
Oh.
I mean, it'd be the effort stepping. Well, you jelly it, dude. Fuck it. Yeah, jelly it.
Yeah, Charlie Pokemon John.
Nah, you have spec transfers. It's fine. But at the end of the day, like, why did they have such a huge increasing? Like, what's the need to have that huge increasing
Well, it's
I like
XP
it.
multiplier?
I don't know.
I like it.
The multiplier just depends on the NPC's base stats, and the base stats are scaling. So
Mm.
that's just like how it happens. It's not like a manual thing that they put.
I see. Okay.
I guess
There's something I didn't
I
know.
kind of like it anyway. Big lizard, big XP drops. It just
I like
Yeah.
I like big XP drops. I don't like that it changes so much raid to raid though. I don't like because I get maybe that's inevitable, especially like with ports that it's a formula. But like I wouldn't mind if it was just fixed so that I know like from one raid to another, like the same XP drop is the same damage.
How much damage and shit. Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's just like I'd pot like a random like 3-man 420 and like I see like a 1800 XP drop. How big is that? Who fucking knows? I know it's big, but couldn't tell you what. That's a
Yeah, you
small
have
that's a
400
small
XP
issue though.
drop, and it's a 10.
It's not like you're really reacting to XP drops at ZPAC anyway.
Dude, I feel like if you can even like do 8 alt transfers or spec transfers, ZCBs at back, like I'm pretty sure if you're doing all of that, you can just afford like max black gens MM2. Like you can just go
Yeah.
do that. Like if
Yeah.
yeah. Like I feel like that is just so much more effort, man.
Dude, chinning too now, especially you just put on the Bone Crusher necklace and you AFK for 10 minutes till your aggro runs out.
Oh, that
Infinite
is a
prayer.
thing. That's
Yeah.
fucking busted.
Besides
What
the
fuck?
effort, even like having to have 7 accounts that have that quest done and
those
also have spec
clients.
transfer.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't see why anyone would do it except that one guy just wants to show because it was cool, right?
DM Yonex on
Yeah.
Twitter
Yeah.
for fucking. I don't know
Yeah.
if he even does it. Who else
Saved
has
like
that many
5
ults?
hours from 99 range.
I mean, I would have unironically done it with Charlie on Lob to Top if I was still doing that to get melee stats.
We don't want to hear
That's
about
kinda
Lob to Top.
I had a lot of fun with Lob to Top. I'm sad that that series died so quickly, man.
Tell
Because
us
Boobs
about
got
it.
an ancestral top.
Lob
Like,
to
well, okay, so it was a series where we just started from like nothing on kind of lobster main accounts and wanted to get to top.
what's a lobster main?
Kind of like a noob, like 80 base stats.
Oh.
thinking. But we
How is
just
that a
progressed way
lobster?
too fast, man. Because like the first night, Craig got like 2 Zenites, and then the next day, like we got an ancestral top and a trio cox, and it was just over.
I see.
Right, because you could still use GE and trade and sell almost.
Yeah.
Like,
We could have kept going, but I think we were all just kind of burnt when we started. Maybe it was
That was definitely a burnt person's idea.
it was my idea. Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah,
boys, it's getting a bit too late for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Good night.
we're I guess before you hop off, Jan, I was gonna wrap it up anyway because we're coming up on 2 hours. Was there anything you guys wanted to shout out before we go out? Anything you're doing? Follow your Twitter. Subscribe to your
Mining
YouTube channel.
thralls.
Mining
Shout out
thralls.
Bean Cord.
If
Shout
you
out
liked
Bean
mining thralls, make sure you tweet at someone
Oh
at
my
JGX so they
god!
can
Shut
get
off
their
about
main.
mining
Cord.
trolls.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. Oh. I let you guys have your moment. Let me have mine, please.
Anybody else? Grayson? What do you
Shout
what do you
out
got?
to my good friend September that couldn't show up.
Danny
Yeah.
Danny as well. Danny and September.
Oh, and
Yeah.
Danny as well. Yeah.
If the reception to this is good, like I don't know, I had fun doing this. I'd be down to do it again. Whenever
I
I
guess just as one thing. Sorry, before
I'd
you
be
do
down.
Oh, go ahead.
closing stuff.
Yeah.
evidence on enough platforms how shit account security is. We recently had a really good friend who's like a super long time player with like many thousands of hours on this game get hacked, even though he was pretty good about account security. So
I
I
agree.
don't know. It just needs to be said as many times as many platforms as possible. Like,
Yeah.
the account security is just unacceptably dog shit. It wouldn't take a lot to make it good.
Pour one out for Banff. Genuinely heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Wait.
horrible.
Speaking of mods, he's right here at the bank next to me. So
Shout out
shout
Mods.
out, shout out Tree Demption.
Oh.
That's your fellow Dutchman, right, Kappa?
Yeah, sure. Hit me up for 500
No,
leeches.
no, no.
Kappa services.
Hey, if anyone doesn't have their tubs he has done yet, hit me up.
I hate you guys.
No,
Kappa.
no, free of charge. Like I don't take payment. So
I do.
Alright.
I do.
Kappa, you should take a payment, dude. Saxer Pillar sold like 16 in the past week for 400 each. Like
Who has
doing
sold
1+1s. You
Who
know
has done that?
the Aka guy, the butterfly guy.
Or the
Saxer
guy
Pillar.
who made it?
Yeah,
Oh, the
he's
guy
making-
who's like, "I
he's
invented
making
butterfly."
so much doing 1+1.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
He deserves
you
it, man.
should- you
He
should get
invented
on that.
butterfly.
Wait, when you say 1+1, is it like full on leeching? Like I
Yeah,
just
I mean,
AFK?
No, they do
No,
like a
they
strat where
have-
they just don't go in the room. They only go
Wait.
in for like Baba waves.
Damn.
That's kind of lame.
Oh, what about the final phase though? Like,
I think they just log out and then they log back in or something.
Really? They don't
Wait,
even
he does
trust him to
1
just
plus
sit there
1
and let him
500.
approach us?
Bruh.
Oh my
Mhm.
god.
What the
I mean, that-
fuck?
I mean, he gets them to trade him pots, surely, right?
Maybe. I'm not sure how it goes down. But like if you think about it, I mean all of the rooms are pretty much 0 damage. It
I
just
get-
takes
Oh
forever.
yeah.
I guess
That's
you
true.
would
No
just
matter
drop all
prayer
your
pots. If they give you prayer pots, then you're cooking.
yeah, you just
Drop
drop your
salts and
shit like row
ambrosias.
1, right? And log out.
Does anyone know what the highest invocation completed rate is at this point?
770?
Is that like max possible?
It's max.
But that was with
It's
a
above
bug.
max.
Like it's already people's done capped out points.
Port.
Like, yeah.
It's all
Easily.
invocations plus the invocation bug. So
Wow.
Yo,
And someone
yo,
completed
Port.
yeah, new
Yeah.
type.
What's up,
He
Gian?
made a good video on it.
What's up,
How-
Gian?
How does he do Akka? If he does 1+1s?
Or he probably just does the skip,
do you mean?
like for the DPS check, or just tanks it and blood barrages.
Oh yeah, you can actually. Yeah, I forgot you can do that.
Alright, I guess I'll
Like he butterflies it, Gian. Like, what?
No, but I meant like he's never gonna pass a single DPS check.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
yeah,
Even if you
skip
don't
that
pet, like
shit.
you can heal back up, like when it's dead as well. Like
Alright, for the people here who have Twitters, I'll throw them in the description of this. Thanks for being on, guys. I had a lot of fun.
Yo, same.
Thank
same.
you
did
for
too.
Thank you.
invite.
It's a good
Thank you
time.
for having us, Jake.
Yeah, no
It was
problem.
fun.
Shout out Zeroth
Yeah,
as well. We
thank-
gotta get
thanks, Jake.
Zeroth on one of these. I know he wasn't interested this time, but his community, right? We gotta get him on.
Yeah.
Alright.
Shout
get
out
zero
Zaf.
for the
Has he
gotcha one.
played?
Yeah, he told me today. He kind of like me and him just had a talk earlier about how we kind of randomly today felt like playing RuneScape. I don't know. Like today, I've done a lot of RuneScape today. Played like 4 hours or something.
Let's go.
Shout out Zeroth. I love that boy.
Shiny
Alright, good night,
panini.
boys.
Thanks, Kappa.
Good night, John.
Grats, dude. Alright. Bye.